For my underdogs, the ones willing to pay the cost. Even when we're up, we gotta take a loss. Underdogs are always against the odds. I'ma use this opportunity to do it for my underdogs. I'ma do this for my underdogs. I'ma do this for my underdogs. I'ma do this for my underdogs. Yeah, my underdogs.
Welcome back. Another episode of the Rec Center podcast. I know y'all missed us, and we had a lot of back and forth. Me and Lo been itching to get back, but I got sick, and then I moved, and all kind of crazy stuff was going on. So, but we here now, and we glad to be back. So, I'm Kenny Edwards, joined with Lorenzo Parham. Man, what's going on, Lo?
Welcome. Hey, we back, man. I'm excited, man. What they say, we back with another one, man. It's been, hey, we want to shout out our subscribers and our viewers that's been waiting for the content to come back, that have been pushing us when we doing another one. So we like, hey, man, Ken, what we waiting for? Let's just quit. Me and Ken tried to go set up studios. We tried to go get the big equipment. And I think what happens is our shit is authentic, Ken, with the way we set it up. So we got let's get it going, bring it on. Our viewers gonna love us because it ain't about the setup, it's about the guests and they telling their stories. So let's get to it, man. And we excited though, because we bringing Murph on, and Ken, Murph is a lot older than you. He's older than me by some years, right? So you might not have been at the ballpark on the major field when Murph was playing at the major field, right? You probably wasn't there. I just saw Murph playing on some legendary teams, man. So we get to unpack all of this stuff because Murph is like our kind of Rec Center almanac, right? He helped correct some of the shit that we don't know sometimes, right? We like,
you gotta talk about Cuzzo that graduated in 87. I'm like,
right? So Murph helped us do that, man. So he helped us unpack some of the stories and things that we don't know, people that we should get on the show ourselves, right? So now he's able to bring it in because he saw all of the generations. He had a brother that played my level, then he coached. Then he coached, his dad coached, he came and coached. He saw the OEL from 85, 86 OEL, Ken. This is what we going to talk about. 86 OEL to what it is now because he's coaching in it now. So he can help unpack some of the things when we talk about what the OEL was, what it looked like. But man, we just go jump right into it. Murph, welcome to have you on our show. So one of the things we do want to pack, it is called the Rec Center, and we know you from Ruth, Oakland Dynamite. Did you start off in a Rec Center?
Yeah, I started off, I went to Burkhalter Elementary. So when I first started playing baseball, I played for the Giant Stars. And then we played at Brookdale Park. My dad just took us we went up to Jones. I was interested in playing baseball. I played strikeout every day. So we went up to Brookdale, and there was a coach named Pete LaChapelle. This was Young American League. I was 7 years old. I just went out there. He's kind of too young to play, so he put me in batting practice, and I'm sticking. I'm sticking at bat practice. I played baseball at strikeout every day.
Hey,
do kids these days know what strikeout is?
No.
I don't think so, Ken.
No.
I doubt it. I don't see it. I don't see it.
All you needed was two people.
Two people.
And a wall.
Two
people
on the
wall behind you.
And that's how I learned how to pitch.
So Murph, now that you say that, like, what was the background before that? Did your pops play baseball?
Yeah, my dad's from Southern California. So he played for a team when he moved into Oakland. He played for this team from Bushrod called Ravens, semi-pro team. So they had Ricky and them play sometimes, Pettis, and Pops was raw. Like, I talked to Mr. Gwynn, he's one of the scouts. They say Pops through mid-high 90s. Damn. He's only 5'7". So everybody on my dad's side of the family played baseball. Southern California.
Okay, so now we got your dad being a baseball guy. It all makes sense now. You're a pitcher, Dev a pitcher, Pops was a pitcher, right? So now that all makes sense, right? At what level did you stop going? At what age did you stop going from Young America to playing for Oakland Ruth and your dad coaching? What age?
So see, this is how he started coaching. We go to Brookdale. So the coach was like, one day he just left the equipment. My dad just was a spectator being the dad. He just gave him the team, Giant Stars. And everybody on our team was from 77 Greenside. We had Zach Hampton, Derek Hampton, Darnell Tucker. We had some boys so that was Young American League. So they had the Giant Stars, the Giant Oranges, Giant Jackets, the Giant Blues, and there was the Giant Royals and the Giant Greens. So that was one division. But Joe Morgan had a team. That's what Mr. Tyner used to coach. Joe Morgan Reds. Jay Kidd played on that team. So it was like 11 and 12. I didn't know anything about minors when I first started playing baseball. It was Young America, and we played Winter League.
Hold on, time out. Hell no, I can't. So you jumping Oakland Bay Ruth at 11, 12?
I started Oakland Bay Ruth when I was 9.
9, okay, 9.
I was 9.
I was about to say.
So how we got to Bay Ruth, we were playing Winter League, and we played against Duvernay. And Mr. Tyner and Howard Gamble were the coaches. So we played against them. I mean, we competed with them for a couple of innings, but they blew us out. They had New York Life in that league. It was this Winter League, probably like 6 teams. We played at Redwood Heights and Owens Jones. And they was like, man, I pitched against Duvernay. It was 11 and 12-year-olds. So they was like, well, we have a minor league team, so bring your boys over to play with us. So we went to a practice, and then the 10-year-old head coach at that time was Eddie Abrams.
Big Eddie.
Big Eddie. So, and then, I always played with 12. So that's the first time I played my age group when I was 9. That's how we started playing Bay Ruth for Duvernay.
Can you imagine what the legend urban myth would have been if the Young American team would have beat Duvernay in the Winter League?
That'd have been like the dream team losing.
It would have been like a dream team losing.
When I was 8 years old, so then we played in Young America for the summer. We made it to the playoffs. So we was 8-2 in the league. We played Seafood Grotto at Greenman. That's the first time I ever played at Greenman. I mean, they had Daryl Buckley, they had Marlon Mooney, they had boys on their team, blew us out. Then how we started watching Bay Ruth All-Stars, we hosted a regional tournament that year. And I seen Michael Tyner pitch. And once I see Michael Tyner, he was the boy back in Bay Ruth back then. So, come to Winter League, Eddie, that's how we started playing for Duvernay when I was 9 years old, 9 and 10.
All right, so let me back up, Ken, so we get the visual of this, right? You played baseball at Owen and Jones, Brookdale Park, right? Redwood Heights, right? What was it like when you get to Greenman? Because that's
like the big league. That's like the big league.
That's like the big league.
That's like the big league.
When you play against a Bay Ruth team, that's like the NFL, and like the Young American League was like USFL. Like,
The Young American had a T-shirt.
T-shirt league. But I mean, it was competitive because a lot of people from Young America went over to Bay Ruth. Like, we played against, they had a team, Otis Spunkmeyer Cookies.
I remember
they had Ryan Drees on that team. They had Mike Robbins. They had boys. Both of them ended up playing in the pros.
Yeah, right.
They came over to Bay Ruth later. They came over when we was 13. We played them every year, Young America, over summer.
So, what was that like, right? So you said once you saw, was it Michael Tyner pitching, right?
Michael Tyner.
Once you saw Michael Tyner pitching, that was like the light bulb switch in your head, right? But what you don't know is, like for us, we're watching you pitch, right? Watching you play and them Fudging teams you had,
was our
right?
Michael Tyner.
Like you was our Michael Tyner, like that inspiration. So how was it like when you seeing it the rest of the way? How did Michael Tyner's career go as you watched him grow up? How did that work out?
My first year with Duvernay, they was on a 12-year-old team. So they had Adrian Ely, he played basketball.
Oh yeah,
he was on
St. Joe's, yeah.
Adrian Ely had heat too. He was a good baseball player. Adrian Ely. They had Michael Tyner. Michael Tyner's dominating. Lefty. He's dominating everybody in the league. And then
we got to find Michael Tyner on Facebook, man.
I think Michael Tyner passed away.
Oh, wow.
I don't know what year he passed away, but he passed away, and he did good like in preps in 14, 15, but then when he got to high school, he went to Richmond High, he ended up just playing hoop. He was the premier player. It was him. They had Bobby Smith, they had Damon Lynch, they had boys.
Okay.
I know those
Andrew Vessel.
Yeah.
So that's Robert Sasser.
Hey,
Sasser was right. Sasser was right under them.
Robert Sasser is my idol.
But is Sasser a year older than you or 2 years?
2 years.
2 years, right?
He's 2 years older than me by age, 1 year by grade.
Okay. So But so the Sasser went to Oakland High with y'all, right?
Yeah.
Oakland High. That's what made me go to Oakland High. That's what made me decide to go to Oakland High, because I was going there for baseball. And once I seen Sasser went there, that was one of the people I looked up to growing up. I said, man, I never got a chance to play with him. I watched him all the time from the time I was 9 years old. He was a boy.
Before we even touch on high school, we still got a whole lot.
We got the Greenman Field stuff to go.
We got them raw ass all-star teams that you played on in Oakland Bay, Ruth, right? So when you guys did make them all-star teams, right, that traveled, was it broke up like when I played? It was like still divisions. You had a National 1, National 2, American, and American 2. Was it just one division?
See, the first year on Mountain, we had 9 and 10s. It was 2 divisions, American and National. So then when I was 10 years old, we won the league that year for Duvernay. We was 12-0. My dad was the all-star coach, one team. So we was the first Oakland team for the minors to travel. So we went to play regionals, Sun Valley, Nevada. It was close to Reno. And we won it. We played against Salt Lake City, Utah, Jordan Valley, Utah. Jimmy Rollins was on that team. He was the only 8-year-old to make the team on the 10-year-old team. He played for A&T Travel, which is Crowell. And Frank Knight's dad was the coach.
I remember Big Frank coaching them Crowell teams.
Frank Knight's coach was the coach. Frank was on that team. They had Jimmy Rollins. They had Gary Curvin. They had Jamal Gaines. They had E. Fields. Frank. They had a good team, but it was so competitive back then. Like we used to whoop A&T Travel. But it was competitive. The whole league was competitive. And everybody played baseball in our area.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Hey, so Ken, we got cheated, right? Ken, we got cheated out of having a dominant all-star team because we have 4 divisions, right? And it's like National 1, you got Allen Temple, Cobras, Fudging, whoever in that National 1. Yep. It was hard you had to beat them to go on and do it.
But they did try to stack it so all the good teams was in the same division. Yeah, and then they let Continental
Continental and American.
That to me it was purposely done because we at that time we won 7 straight World Series. Our league.
Absolutely right.
But to Lowe's point, it would have been cool to just have one division. So just the top players, regardless.
Yeah, exactly. Because it's like imagine when I was 12, right, and we lost all stars, right. But on our all-star team, we still had Keon Davis, right? They could have used him on that National 1 all-star team. Yeah. They had some boy, Sean Wilson. Could have been on that team, right? So it's like y'all could have had these players. So I'm glad. I wonder what made them go to that format to begin with, because one Oakland made it good.
More kids,
and then a lot of people, back then it was a cut process to make the all-star team.
It was a cut process to make your regular team.
Are you sitting on the bench the whole game?
It wasn't no all-play rule either.
No, it wasn't no all-play rule. So that was part of the issue too. They started separating this all 9s, all 10s.
Oh,
that kind of like messed up.
Yeah, we didn't have age limit. It was just majors, minors. No age limit.
So, when did you touch on? Because we just dealing with your youth aspect of it. When did you touch on the football and the Oakland Dynamite thing? Like, what age was that?
I played football when I was 9 years old.
Okay.
See, because all the Dynamites, they came to everybody for Bay Ruth played Dynamites.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like we had on Dynamites, we all started the same year. KP, they played baseball. I met them through baseball.
I remember them playing for New York Life.
They played for New York Life.
I remember them playing for New York Life. In Vandale, they New York Life.
Yep. JT played for James Thompson. He played for New York Life. Lamont Couch. They was all on the same team.
I had a homeboy named Paul, right? Paul was nice.
Paul Smith.
Paul was nice, man. He's in a wheelchair now, but I remember Paul at like 12, 13, New York Life.
He was nice.
He was nice, man.
He was my wide receiver for Dynamite. He played football too.
See, I didn't even know P was like that in football. I didn't even know that, man. Shout out to P, man. Like I remember watching all of them grow up, man. And we had KP on, and KP was able to speak to some of this stuff you saying as well with how competitive all of y'all era was, right? And we sit back and we do the NBA shit. We talk about eras, who eras better, what era is this, what era is that, right? And when we talk about what we seen and the people we know, like y'all era And we ain't even talked about the Michael Woodlocks and Quinn and Tony Johnsons and them like that. That's a whole different ball game. So we talk about these eras. You guys have one of the main eras, like when we hear about it, urban legend is, right? Like we hear, and we go talk about this later when you talk to Oakland High. So I need to know, did Vandale hit KP and KP go throw up and he made him throw up? And we need to know if all that is true.
It's true.
Okay.
Vandale, see, people didn't get to see Vandale play in high school. He was better than LaVelle.
No way.
Bro, I'm telling you, Vandale, deep shutdown corner.
Yeah, we got, listen.
Vandale was nice. He's supposed to play with us at Ohio. Got into it with Kiefer. Vandale was nice. Vandale was nice.
This is what we talk about when somebody can put some clarity to the shit, Ken, because shout out to the Sims brothers. May they rest both of them. Both of them, rest in peace. Rest in peace, man. But it's legends, Ken. Like it's legend in these urban legends.
All these
that Murph can
names,
help.
bro. I heard
absolutely
names.
Right. And so the Dynamites, right? When we talk about the Dynamites, and you playing at 9 years old, your first year. Was everybody first years at 9, or was it people that played before that?
Well, see, KP and Lamont Jace, they was always older than me in Babe Ruth. Like when I was 9, they was 10. So I started when I was 9 on junior Pee-wees. We all started the same year. Derek Gardner started. Me and Derek Gardner was the two starting D tackles our first year. D tackle. Me and Derek, KP was the center.
Wow.
KP was our center. Jace was the quarterback. We bad.
I think James Thompson said he was on the line at first.
He was on the line at first too.
That's your initiation.
He came later when we got like the Pee-wees and junior midgets.
Okay.
Our first Oliver Newell, he was the only 8-year-old on the team that year. He played.
Now, it was only one Oakland team at that time, right?
One
Dynamites and then Crusaders. Well,
yep. It was Dynamites, Crusaders. Some people went to Berkeley, the Berkeley Cougars.
That's crazy.
How competitive was it back then, though? Oh, how competitive was the Dynamite one to make the team? That's one. But when you go play against Berkeley Cougars, because back then it was pride in where you was from. You was from Berkeley, you played for Berkeley.
Yeah.
You was from Richmond, you played for the Richmond Steelers. You weren't coming traveling to play for Berkeley Cougars and that, right? So how competitive was it to even the pride thing? I tell people all the time, like there's two things I can't do, right? One, I can't go play for a Richmond team. I can't go play for a San Francisco team.
Or
like
coach.
The pride in Oakland and me won't let me, right? So what was it like playing them games and how competitive and what age did the shit talking come in with that?
It started right away for us because our coaches, we had Coach Reggie Harper and Coach D. They were our two coaches that fired us up. Both of them was in the military. So it was very competitive. Like they used to sometimes put out hits on players like I want him out the game. You get chili cheese nachos, put him out the game.
That was normal back then too. Now you do something like that.
No, you're definitely
for life.
You're banned.
Banned. Back then that was just normal.
Yeah. I don't think coaches was taking the USA football certified.
We had tackling practice every day.
Every day.
To make the team, it was like 100 people for 35 spots.
Yeah.
So at the youth sports star that won World Series and championships at that youth level in the Oakland Dynamite, which one you personally felt better for you?
Well, I started learning my first championship. Team I ever been was the Dynamites. We went undefeated. My first year at Dynamites, 1986. We went 12-0. We were state champions. So my dad was like, man, when he started coaching baseball, he was like, the next year for Duvernay, so I'm gonna do everything we all did on the Dynamites. That's how my resume gonna be for baseball. And we that year for Duvernay, we went 13-0. Then we went to Young America. We I think it was like 15-2. But we was one game away from the championship. But we had an all 10-year-old team. And then that same year we went to the All-Stars. We won that. So once we won the Dynamites, it was on after that.
Did your pops coach football as well? Did he coach the Dynamites?
No, he didn't coach football. He just like to help like the chain games, to do NPR. Because half the team for the Dynamites, that's how Oliver started playing baseball. He got Oliver to play baseball.
So when you played Duvernay, right? Oliver played Duvernay. You played Duvernay as well?
Yep.
When did Fudging kick in? When did this whole
so Oliver, we got Oliver from the Dynamites. We was on Duvernay, so my dad got Oliver to the Dynamite. And Jay Charlin Jones, he was already on our team too for Duvernay. So we got Jay Charlin to start playing football. We took him out there to play football.
Oh, he didn't play football at the Dynamite. He just played baseball.
He played baseball at first, and then we recruited Jay Charlin to come to football.
And so around what age was that? Jay, y'all was like 9, 10?
I was 10.
Jay Charlin was 9?
He was 9.
9.
Yep.
Was he buff at 9 too?
He was swole. He was like the biggest on the team back then. He was bigger than me.
Jay was always slow, kid.
And he's always was fast. He was a back catcher. I would Jay Charlin was a back catcher at first.
Got it.
And then how Fudging came about, I played 11-year-old for Duvernay for Gamble. Gamble and Coach Milton Owens, that was our coach when I went up to majors. So my dad stayed down with my brother because he was 8 when I was 10. So they ended up doing good that year. They was 12-1, but they lost to Utah to the other Oakland team in the championship game. So how Fudging came about, they wanted to, Mr. Tyner was the coach for the majors. He stepped down, and they didn't want for some reason they didn't want Howard Gamble to be the head coach. So they had a meeting, and Howard Gamble they didn't give my dad the head coaching job or Gamble. So Gamble started 790 Dodgers. That's how 790 Dodgers came.
Okay.
So that's who I was gonna play with at first, was 790, because that was already our Duvernay team. So it's a leftover from the 12-year-old team. We had James Molinari was on that team, Bo Sanderford, BJ, and then so they gave
BJ that was a Tech. BJ that was a Tech. Okay.
We all was on the same team on Duvernay and minors. Okay. And majors. So when I was 11, after that season, there was a thing with the coaches. So then Fudging came about because actually Fudging, they was, remember when they had IAM for T-ball? I don't think y'all was in Babe Ruth. So when I first came to Babe Ruth, I was 9-year-old IAM. That was my dad worked on the base. So with Malin's dad and Coach Neal, they all worked at Naval Air Station. Coach Brock, they all worked at Naval Air Station. So they started a base team called IAM. That was their union, a T-ball team. So then the year when I was 11, that's when they came up to minors and they had Fudging.
Got it.
So they weren't that good that year. They had Tony, Malin, Otis Andrews, Keek was on that team. They wasn't that good. So my dad wanted to move up to 12-year-olds. When I turned 12, he wanted to coach me when I was 12. So Brandon Knight was the president at that time. He said, I can put another team in the league. So since my dad was part of that IAM Fudging, that's the team from the Naval Air Station base. That's how we got the Fudging.
Okay, now
that's how we came to Fudging.
So according to Facebook, every Babe Ruth team was good, and we know that's not true. So in your era, like, just give us the years, and then other than your teams, who were like your rivals or teams you knew you had to get up for? Because
Allen Temple. Allen Temple had a squad. They had Michael Whitlock, they had Quinn, they had Dak, Damari McIntyre, they had Leo Smith, they had Ronald Solis.
We talking about like what, 80s?
89. That's when I was 12, 89.
And Quinn is a year younger than you, right?
Yep.
Quinn, he plays a year younger, right?
Yep. So the Bill Wright was good.
Bill Wright was good.
Yeah, they had Ivory, they had Dominique Urban, Otis Hickman, Brian Banks, Terrence Richmond.
That passed by the time I got to Babe Ruth.
Hold on, and correct me if I'm wrong, help us out. Was Bill Wright and KTVU News the same thing, or were the different teams?
Same organization.
Same thing.
Yeah.
Same thing.
See, back then it was like the farm system. If you started T-ball with Duvernay, you went Duvernay T-ball, minors and majors. So we got the prep. That's when Mr. Best had JNF. So that was the prep team for Duvernay. So everybody from Duvernay, they had a couple of other people, but most of the Duvernay went to JNF. Then 14-15 was Dodge.
Okay, absolutely. Yeah. So one of the things I'm gonna touch on before we get back to that is we had a lot of guys on here. Definitely, we had two Bob on here. We talked about the role his father played in doing that as well, right? Just speak about that role that your father played in having you involved in these different things and actually coaching. Like what kind of role was that in motivation for that? Because you tell him y'all brought Oliver over to football, y'all brought Jay Charlotte over, y'all was doing all these things, and it was your father that helped it. Was he a father to everybody? It seemed like.
Yep. Like I always tell people, you know, I had to share my dad with everybody because everybody came to the house. Tony Johnson, Whitlock, we all lived by each other. Quinn, they was out the house every day. Every day. It was every day. So, you know, and for me, being a coach's son, I said, man, I'm not gonna be the kid. The only reason why he's playing because your dad the coach. So that's what motivated me.
Right. Nobody want that side.
Nah, I'm gonna be raw. I ain't gonna be the reason why I'm playing.
Absolutely, right. But here's the thing: your dad didn't coach football, and you was raw, and that wasn't the reason, right? So did you still take that chip on your shoulder from baseball to football? Like, hey, I can't be like if I'm a star in baseball, ain't no way I'm about to go ride the bench in football. Everybody know me now. Everybody know me.
Yeah.
That's one of the things that made me not play basketball, Ken. When I got to Tech, it's like, I'm playing varsity football. Ain't no way I'm about to play JV basketball. Like, no. I'm not about to play at 245. The gym is empty, right? It wasn't gonna happen. I had to wait, you know. So
let me ask you this, Murph. Because all right, so when I played Babe Ruth, we was consistently winning as well.
Yeah.
And then so when you winning that much at a young age, does losing is that even a possibility? Like, I never knew what it was really like to lose.
Me neither.
So did you really understand what you were doing at that time? Like all the championships and state championships and World Series. Like, did you know what you were doing, or did you just think like, oh, this is what it is?
I mean, we knew what it was doing, but that was our expectation to win. Once I experienced winning with the Dynamites, that 1986, that's what I expected every year. That was my mentality. I said, man, if we don't win the championship, that's a wasted season.
Was losing a possibility to you though? Because when I played Agreement, it was like when we lost, we cried. It was like, what the fuck? Like,
it was sick. It was sick.
Yeah, we lost. Like it was hard for me to process that.
It was hard for me to process it too.
But
I wasn't used to losing. We won every year I was in Babe Ruth. We won the championship except a couple of years.
I think it was my 10-year-old year. I think it was my 10-year-old because we lost at a Royal. Bro, the team that we lost one game, the team that beat us, they still talk about it to this day. We're 40 years old. Like that's how rare losing was for us.
It was rare.
Hey,
like when we played for Fudging, there was some good teams. Like Allen Temple was stacked too.
Yeah, Allen Temple always to this day.
The year Berkeley 36ers was good. That's where they had Joaquin. They had Nate Vasquez. They had Doug from Berkeley.
No, Gene wasn't the coach then, was he? Who was coaching Berkeley 36ers? They had Joey. They had a kid named Joey on that team. Yep. I was the bat boy for that team. I just can't remember who the coach was because my homeboy DeMarcus, Demo played, and I used to be the bat boy for that team. I didn't play baseball yet, but I used to go with Demo to practice. And I remember Joey and them playing, and they had pinstripe uniforms.
Yeah, Malcolm Bro ended up going. He played football at St. Mary's. He ended up going to UCLA.
Hey, but the crazy thing is, now that you bring it up, Lo, even being the bat boy for good teams was like you had to be respected for them to even let you be the bat boy though.
I was the bat boy for the All-Star team.
Yeah, you couldn't just be the bat boy, bro. Like you had the older kids had to respect you as like an up and comer.
Yep. Yeah. When we hosted the World Series or the regionals one year, me and Eddie Abrams, we was the bat boy for the Oakland team.
Hey, you took that job serious too.
Took it serious.
Hey, so we know you eventually won the Dynamites, won at Fudging, won World Series, had parades, and all of these things, right? It was blasphemy, but now. To play or talking to Art, we had Art Young on the show. Shout out to Art. And Art said it's like how everyone from Dynamites went to Oakland High. Went to Skyline. But we know you said Robert Saster made the help you go to Oakland High. Was Skyline ever a possibility of you attending there?
Yeah, that was the number one goal. Everybody from the Dynamites was supposed to go to Skyline. That was just a given. And I don't know, like for me, I started working out with Skyline. And we used to work like when we was in ninth grade, because when I was in school, it was
junior high was the ninth grade.
Junior high. So we would go up to gym masters and work out with Skyline. So then one day the Oakland High coach, I went to King of States. They came to my classroom. The coach came to the class, knocked on the door. I want to speak to Murph. I come out, so my cousin brought him up there. And I went up to Oakland High. Well, I go check it out. And I knew Sasser, they had Sasser and Cedric Gilmore. So Ced was raw too. Both of them played on World Series teams.
Hey, hold on, Murph. When you say the coach came out, are you talking football coach or baseball coach?
Football coach.
Football coach.
He came to my classroom at King. So then I went up to the school, and he was like, well, you're showing me the offense. So Jace was there at practice. Both Parker twins was practicing.
Oh, one of them was considered Oakland High.
Both of them was there at that time. We practiced with them for like 2 weeks. Like both of them was there. And then my boy Ron Holmes, he ended up playing for Skyline. He was a receiver All-American. He was there too. All of us went there together. And it was like a last minute decision. It's like, KP's going to Skyline. Then Ron Holmes went with Skyline too. You see, Ron Holmes, he was my boy from elementary school. He lived right down the street, but he didn't play Dynamites. He moved from Mississippi. He came from Mississippi. But he was a baller. He was a baller, but he didn't play Pop Warner. So then when we got to high school, we knew he was playing. We would go to Ohio. Then at the last minute, they went to Skyline. KP and Ron Holmes.
Ron Holmes played receiver, right?
Yep.
Did he go to the league?
He played for University of Arizona. But I don't know what happened. I don't know why he stopped playing. But he was nice.
So basically at Oakland High, we talk about your career. We're talking about a 3-year career, right? We don't, because junior high went to ninth grade. Yep. You didn't play high school ball in ninth grade.
Nope.
So we talk about a 3-year career. What was it like? And did you play varsity that first 10th grade year?
First year, me, Jace, KP, we had Lavelle Sims. We was all on bar my first year, and we was good that year. Like we our senior who was getting heavily recruited, Deshaun Henderson, he was from Texas, but his brother is Othello Henderson. He played at UCLA, got drafted by the Saints. So when he moved from Texas to Ohio, he was the leader of our team. He was getting heavily recruited. So man, we Ohio, they didn't have that many numbers back then, but we stepped right in on bar. We was balling. We was balling as 10th graders. But we was on a 4-game win streak. The first game of the season, we played Benicia. They was ranked number 2 in the Bay Area back then. They had this receiver, Nimoy Triplett. He's in there playing San Diego State. He was there with Blackwell. And then they had Andy Jacobs playing for Cal and the Steelers. They had studs. They blew us out opening day. We went on a 4-game win streak. We beat Eureka, we beat Castle, we beat Fremont. But then I got deemed ineligible because of my age. I was 14. I was 14 when I was in 10th grade.
Back then, you had to be 15 to play varsity.
So we had every game that we won that I played in, we had to forfeit, and I had to play the last 2 games on JV. Last 3 games on JV. Wow. That's why we didn't make the playoffs that year. We were undefeated.
So hold on, let me back up. So coming into the OEL, and we know just from history that time it was Oakland High and Skyline. Was any other team competitive against you 2 teams?
So that year, so when I was in 10th grade, Mac was raw.
What
Mac
year
was raw. This is 1991.
Okay.
You see the preview that Mario just posted?
I did see that.
That was when I was in the 10th grade.
Okay.
So Mac was they was the second best team in the league. They was raw. That's what Kiefer coached that Mac before he came to us.
Right.
Hey, Keith, hold on. Let me back it up, man, because now we have to go into this Kiefer conversation real quick, because we had this conversation when we talked about coaching goats, Ken, right? Remember we had the conversation about the coaching goats, right? And we took flack for that because we did not have Kiefer on that list, right? So now Murph saying he was at Mac, Kiefer was at Mac was good, right? Kiefer come to Oakland High. Oakland High is good, right? So we look at the latter years of Kiefer's career and be like, oh, he wasn't this and he wasn't that, right? But his peak coaching career, he had competitive teams playing playing for championships, being a tough team, competitive team. It wasn't to that Oakland High Eric Cookingham senior year that it just went downhill with Kiefer. Because I don't know if he left and coached somewhere after that.
He left after my senior year. He stepped down as the head coach, and then the year after that, he was just the offensive coordinator.
After
we left.
Who came in as the head coach?
Was our defensive coordinator was Chris Ayad.
Okay.
So Coach Chris, the years I was there, he was our defensive coordinator, but he also was the baseball coach for Mission High in San Francisco.
That seemed real conflict of interest.
Yeah. He was the baseball coach. He was the baseball coach for Mission. Then he ended up being a baseball coach for Oakland High.
Okay.
Yep.
Got it. So,
Kiefer, what I found out later, Kiefer coached at Fremont when they went undefeated back in the days.
That's what someone else.
Yes.
So that's why I
just
said
found that out recently.
I think that could have got found out on our comment post, Kim, when we made our thing. That comment could have been in there, right? That could have been in there. So give us your take on football and baseball. What was your welcome to the OEL moment in both sports?
Football, as soon as we played against Benicia, man, they had 100 players on the sideline. And they was ranked number 2 behind De La that year. They had like 5 D1 dudes. So that first game, I was mad.
And you was only a 10th grader.
I was only 10th grade.
Only
Did they have a band? Did they have a band?
I mean, that band everything.
First time I played with a band, that blew my mind.
Blew my mind too. I'm like, man.
Blew my mind.
But we balled, we balled. I mean, it was a tie score at halftime. The first opening kickoff, my first touch of high school career, 97-yard touchdown. That's what you see on the when you look at the preview 91, that was the opening kickoff when I was running down the side.
This ain't Pop Warner no more.
So, but what was it like rival week when you guys had Skyline on the schedule? What was that rivalry week like?
True rival. We had Spirit Week that week. Then we had a car out there that we put fuck Skyline, the whole shit. Like they threw a football over the fence during practice, spray painted the gym. It was serious. It was serious.
And these are your former teammates, right?
Especially my junior and senior year.
But
these are your former teammates now, right?
Former teammates for the Dynamites. Yeah,
that's what make it even better.
When we played them my junior year, they ordered another set of bleachers at Oakland High. They put it on the baseball fields. They built it like a stadium. Standing room only. They had it roped off from 25 to 25 where people, they made them stand there because there was so many people at the game.
That's crazy.
We lost 42-40. Last play of the game.
Y'all lost?
42-40, the last play of the game.
So help me and Ken out. Did you guys win the Silver Bowl 2 of your 3 years there?
2 of my 3 years, back to back.
Back to Ken. That's where we was mistaken on the thing, right? We was like, was it this? Y'all won it 2 years back to back.
Yep. Junior and senior year.
That's amazing because to us, and this is me and Ken, we didn't know Skyline to lose a Silver Bowl from our days, right? They didn't lose none, right? So
not even close. Matter
of fact, you guys were the one team, last ones that beat them prior to that run they went on. You guys team was the last ones to beat them. What kind of bragging rights did that leave for y'all in the town, right? Because Oakland is one of them cities where
I still got bragging rights to this day.
Absolutely, right?
I still can talk about it now.
Hey, Ken,
Skyline, they was them boys. Like, man, Skyline in those days, they was them boys. My first year in when I was in 10th grade, they had John Fisher and Kwame Ellis in the backfield. Both of them went to the NFL. And Will Blackwell was a junior. And Harlan Rashada, that's the dad of the quarterback from Pittsburgh, Jaden Rashada. He was raw. He played at Arizona State. They had Sean Bullard. He went to Cal.
Sean Bullard, the coach of Bishop O'Dowd right now, right?
They had boys. He played for Cal. He was their tight end. They had Damon Gardner, Johnny Dempsey. They had Skyline was loaded. Year after year, loaded.
Ken, can you imagine if you have beat Skyline in football, right? This is hypothetical. You beat them in football, and then you see them at like Black Friday or Black Saturday. Like what that was like. Man, get your asses out here. We can beat your ass. I'm pumping your chest out, right? Murph, we don't know what that feeling is like.
That's a great feeling.
Bro, I ain't never beat no team in football other than Castlemont.
So, this is why
So I don't know what it's like to beat anybody.
This is why we're saying this, because we don't know what that feeling is like to actually have beat them dudes on the hill. Shout out to them. Shout out to Coach Beam, man. He put together a hell of a program that sustained for a lot of years,
He
man.
built that pipeline.
He built the pipeline, right? But here you go. Here go the kid to be in the pipeline. Who came and interrupted the pipeline? Who knew to go to Murph Junior High School and say, let me get this kid here, right? And because if not, he's going to Skyline, and I'm quiet as kept. They don't win 2 silver balls in Murph with that Skyline.
Man, I think Sasser was at Skyline at first too. I don't know what happened, but he ended up at Oakland High. I remember people were saying Sasser going to Skyline. Everybody was going to Skyline in them days.
So that's football, right? Then Murph, we talked about baseball and what Oakland High was, and you started in the 10th grade and go all. I think you was the only sophomore that went all A&G that year, all A&G. What was that like? And I saw Robert Sasser on that list as well, right? How deep was your baseball team your 10th grade year at Oakland High?
10th grade, we was all right. It was like from Babe Ruth, it was just me, Sasser, and Cedric Gilmore. And we had Jermont Huffman, we had my boy Joe, a couple of Babe Ruth players. But then my 11th grade year, that's when Lamont Couch came. We had Pierre Stevenson, Tony Johnson. We had fourth. Donnell Tate, Adi Williams. They all played Babe Ruth.
You was the ace pitcher that year? You was the ace?
At first it was Sasser. Sasser started off the ace pitcher, but then I pitched against Bishop O'Dowd that year when they had Drees, they had Cecil Williams. I had 15 strikeouts with a 1-hitter against them. I didn't know.
Oakland was, man.
Damn.
Crazy.
Yeah, boy.
Well, hey, and you guys are thinking about that game right now. Was was O'Dowd a good baseball team back then?
They was the top ranked team in the Bay Area.
And you threw 15 strikeouts.
15 strikeouts, 1-hitter.
All fastballs or what?
Fastball, curve, split. I had 3 pitches.
Was Tony your catcher?
Fastball. Huh?
Was Tony your catcher?
That year it was Carlos Lopez was our catcher. He didn't play Babe Ruth with us, but he was all league. He was a good catcher. So we had Carlos that year, and then Donnell Tate. He was the only 9th grader on the team that year.
Hold on, wait. How did the 9th grader get on you guys' team? You guys.
He was on because like they let him play from Roosevelt.
Okay.
Yep.
So you were able to do it. People were able to do it. Okay.
Yep.
Okay. Got
Yep.
it. And so that's your junior year.
10th grade year.
10th grade year, but junior year is when Lamont, Tony and them came, right? How many championships y'all win, and who was the other competitive team y'all had to fight against?
Skyline was good. Fremont, they had Lou Fish. Harvey Knight was on that team. Tech. So it was us, Tech, Fremont, and Skyline.
And at this time, was everybody, because when I'm thinking about Tech, and I think Correga, is Correga your year or younger than you?
Younger.
He's younger,
Correga
right?
Was a good baseball player
but
too.
He was a hell of a good baseball player.
He was good
right?
too.
But
yeah, Ali Brooks.
Ali.
He was
Richmond,
City.
T. Richmond, all of this, right?
Yep.
So when I'm thinking about this, it's like all of these dudes, everybody played more than one sport, right?
Yep.
Everybody played more than one sport. And we wasn't sports specializing back then, right?
Yep.
Did that make a lot of these rivals more competitive? Because you didn't just see me in baseball, you saw me in hoop, you saw me in football. Did that make everything more competitive?
Yep. And see, everybody in the league, we all been playing against each other since Babe Ruth. So we some of us was on the same all-star team, but it was very competitive every game. Castlemont was pretty good. Like Castlemont actually beat us. They was one of the teams that beat us in baseball.
I'm about to say in football.
They beat us in baseball. Castlemont.
Okay. Yeah. And
because at that point, everybody tendencies, they strengths.
Yeah, it was very competitive.
Where the position, the defense in baseball, all of that.
How hard was it to pitch against people like that you played 10 years against, right? I mean, playing since you were 10 years old.
It's like you say, tendencies. I've been the same thing I did to them at 10 and 12 did to them in high school. So if I was better, I was more polished when I got to high school.
Or you was more stronger because you was
stronger. So I was throwing smoke in high school.
Obviously, he was swollen shit in high school, right?
It was pretty much the same. I mean, you still had to work harder, but we just got older, but same tendencies.
So we talked to Bob about this. I talk off camera to Mikey about it all the time, right? Did being so good in both sports kind of hurt or help your recruiting as far as football coaches trying to be like, man, he might be a baseball guy. Baseball coaches be like, man, he gonna go choose football. How did it work as far as recruiting and being on that level? Colleges coming to talk to you, or pro scouts coming to say, hey, we might just take you. How did all of that work and look like for you?
Well, I think for me, I think now that I look at it now, I think it hurt me more than it helped me, because a lot of the football schools, they didn't want to take no chance. They thought I was going in baseball, and then vice versa. Like, but sometimes recruiters come talk to Kiefer, they're like, he's about to get drafted. So they was like, and then another thing, they said I only weighed 175 pounds in high school, 5'8". So at that time, a running back, that's too little for a D1 running back. And then in baseball, mostly all the times we had a big game, I'm pitching. He's not tall enough to be a pitcher. So it's like.
What was your other position?
Second and short.
Okay. And so those type of things made coaches steer away from you, right? And I know you ended up going to St. Mary's, right?
Yep.
And at the time, St. Mary's had football, right?
Mm-hmm.
Did you do both at St. Mary's?
See, when I was in high school, St. Mary's offered me Davis for football, and then I had offered San Diego State football. Utah State was on me, and Washington State, but they wouldn't let me play baseball. So I was like, what I'm saying? I didn't want to. At that time, I'm playing both. That's
ready to give it up, right?
I'm playing both. So how I ended up going to Laney. I went to Laney because the coach came to the house. He's like, I only got to do 1 year because I was already a qualifier. So I said, okay. I came into Laney. I was going to be a starting running back, but then we ended up getting James Reed came over. He's an Oregon bounce back. With that Mario Washington, he came there. Then they already had a running back, Terrence. So we had to split time.
Terrence Wilson, T. Wilson.
No, not Terrence. Terrence Haspar. Okay. Terrence Wilson, he had got in trouble before that. He was there the year before me, or 2 years before me.
Okay.
Yeah, so he came back later, but so my plans at Laney didn't really work out because I had to split time with 4 backs. It was all quality running backs.
Right.
And then the year after that, Dan Nguyen came. He was the state leading rusher for a while from Alameda High.
Okay.
And then the Carlos Anderson, he was the running back coach at Mac.
Shout out to Los.
Yeah, Los was the truth. He from Iowa, raw. Hella raw. He was raw.
Los was raw. I remember watching Los play.
Los was nice, bro.
When C. Lewis was there. Rest in peace to C. Lewis. I remember watching the game, watching Los play when he was there. Los was nice. But I always felt that when you a Beam guy, not Beam, I'm sorry, Coach Peters. When you a Peters guy, he's gonna give you the rock. He do this. Because there was times I felt like, damn, Bruce Pierre is raw. I like Bruce. He's going to Cal. But I'm like, Oliver looking a little better than Bruce right now.
That's what I thought the same thing too. So I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, so I'm like, man, but then when I got to Laney myself, and I know how Coach Pete put together the scouting report, it's like Parham. As another receiver, you like, hey, bro, man, quarterback, you better look this way. This how you hey, throw this shit this way. I ain't tripping, right? So I wonder. I know Los was raw. Shout out to Los, man. But all of these guys you speak of, was it the fact that they were a Peters guy? It was a Peters type.
Some of it was like on my lane team. Like if you didn't know how P is. If you don't know your playbook, you ain't touching the field. Like we used to have tests.
You got to test the playbook. You got to test it. You got to
pass the test to get on the field. There wasn't that many OAL players at Laney wouldn't get no playing time. Like James Reed. He's an Oregon bounce back, so he was nice. You had to split time with him. Then Mario Washington, he was from Pinole Valley. He was nice too. So all of us had to play.
Right. So when you do get to St. Mary's, right? What was St. Mary's league? What teams was in the league? Who did they play against?
We was D1 AA.
Okay.
But we was independent. So we played mostly Big Sky Conference team.
Okay.
So my first year at St. Mary's, right before the first week or two before the season, torn meniscus slightly, torn ACL. So I didn't play my first. I got hurt.
Wow.
I got hurt my first year, so I redshirted, and then you know how that go. Next man up. So we had a freshman running back that came out his redshirt year. He ended up balling, and then he ended up being the guy. And we already had a running back there when I came there, so that's how my first year went. When I came over to baseball, I got a double scholarship to go to St. Mary's. That's the only school would allow me to play football and baseball. So that's why I chose St. Mary's.
I'm not sure if that was the same thing with Keon. I remember Keon said he was at the Sac State, and it's Keon, man. He playing football, but all he got to do is step in the batter's box at batting practice, and the coach gonna be like, "Hey, you got to play baseball too," because he was hitting the ball a ton, right? Yeah. But it has never worked for him. Splitting time, it was at that level. He was like, "Dude, I'm taking and same thing with Tuba. Like once he didn't play baseball all year round, it kind of hinder him a little bit, right? Did you?
That's what happened to me too.
Okay, yeah,
same thing.
Okay.
So when I came back from, I was rehabbing still my knee, and they was like the coach called for baseball in November, talking about you got to report to practice. But the trainer was like, "Man, he's still rehabbing." So it's like I'm coming to practice. I can't do too much running. I did my little drills for pitching, but it's like they held it against me. So I'm still trying to practice hurt. And then the coach wasn't cool at St. Mary's, man. He was like, one time he brought me into the office. He was like, "I heard you Oakland guys." He knew everybody in our Bay Ruth league. And he's like, "Y'all heard y'all smoke weed." It was all type of stuff. Then it's like, what made me, it's kind of like they pushed me out of it, because it's like, well, you're not going to be able to pitch in these games until I cut my mustache off, cut my hair. I'm like, wait a second. You know what I'm saying? Like, it
ain't got nothing to do with baseball.
It ain't nothing to do with baseball.
How long were you at, or how long after you left St. Mary's, did they cut the football program? Because they
think 2005.
Oh, it went all the way to 05?
2005.
Yeah, they recruited me.
Because Brandon Smith, remember Mac had Brandon Smith?
Mm-hmm. The corner?
Yep. He went to St. Mary's at first.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and I think Terrence Hudson was my year at Skyline. He went to St. Mary's.
Yep.
Oh, did they? I didn't see. They didn't. I don't remember them recruiting. You know what I'm saying?
Ryan Coogler, he played for St. Mary's too.
So shout out to Lenny Walls, man, or Kenny Wall. Did they play football at St. Mary's?
Yep. My junior year, that's when Lenny Limbone came.
Okay.
And then he was like, they were like doing him. Like Limbone's raw. Lenny was raw.
Yeah.
He was raw.
Which did Lenny go to the lead, or Kenny went to the lead?
Lenny went to the lead.
Lenny went to the lead, and Kenny went to play basketball.
Play hoop.
Okay, shout out to them, right? So I'm just thinking about all this thing happening, Ken, because it's like St. Mary's, and what you just told us about St. Mary's, isn't that what Paul told us the same thing, Ken? Paul Marigny said, like the coach at St.
He told Dame, don't come.
He told Dame,
they had Frank Knight coming off the bench and hoop at St. Mary's.
Damn, wow. I thought Frank started.
He started some games with Frank, man. They didn't do Frank right. It was something.
Do you think it was an Oakland stigma that all of the coaches had, like in a meeting room?
Yep, I do. Because my senior year, we all the athletes, the African American athletes, we went to the BSU and did we all came together and did a complaint against the coaches at St. Mary's.
Not just for one sport, for all
for all of them. We had boys there, but wasn't playing. You know what I'm saying? It was boys that wasn't playing that was raw.
I can see that, Ken.
I could definitely see.
What I'm thinking about is now we talk about people being in pocket now. Can you imagine the person that's in pocket back then? Because it ain't gonna get out like that. There's no social media. There's no none of this. I could give him money and be like, "Hey, man, my son just let him start these few games. I don't care who sits down," and the coaches pocket the money. Not saying that would happen. I'm just saying it
was stuff going on. One time on campus, they had this big brawl between some party on campus between the football and the baseball team. I wasn't even on campus this week. I went home, visit my family. I come back, I'm getting called into the dean's office saying that I started the five. I play on both teams. But that's what went on at St. Mary's.
Yeah. I'd be pissed.
I was pissed.
I'd be pissed, right? I'd be pissed. But what was it like?
I think too, it's just a different, like the coaching styles are different. Like if you think about Ruth, you think about Dynamite, you think about Oakland High, it's like the way our coaches coached us and the way we responded was way different than like going to Moraga and playing for this dude.
Right. One time we was playing Cal Poly. We was playing Cal Poly one week. And so I get reps with the ones, but I'm like, well, I'm not getting no run in the games. So I get on scout team, Cal Poly, just so I can give me some extra reps. And I'm busting on the defense. I get kicked out of practice.
Yeah, but see, that's what I'm saying. It's stuff like that. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. So in Oakland, it ain't no. When you get to college, scout team really supposed to just be a shadow. You really ain't supposed to knock down passes. You really ain't supposed to blow up the receiver. You kind of like just supposed to let the offense win or let the defense win, whoever's session it is.
Yeah.
But when we coming up, Babe Ruth, ain't no, man, we fighting for a spot. Ain't no just letting somebody do nothing.
Exactly.
So when we get to the college level and start practicing, we don't know how to let off the gas.
Don't know how to let off the gas.
But Ken, when I think about that in that aspect that you said, I think that's why the Alabama, Nick Saban don't practice like that. His scout team had to make that deep. His scout team got to be
like everybody ain't Nick Saban.
His scout team could probably beat Louisiana Tech or Ole Miss. They just not beating LSU, right? Yeah. So it's like Coach Pete Atlanta, he didn't let us scout team. You a scout team, you was bullshit, right? But when you in scout team at a D1, like it's your red shirt. That red shirt is like you don't get to playing games. I got to get my good reps in.
Nah, at San Jose, boy. If I was a scout team linebacker, and I smack the starting running back, get the fuck out of here. No.
You in the man.
Yeah, bro, you in the doghouse.
You get called practice All-American and all this stuff, right?
You in the doghouse.
You practice All-American and all of this stuff, right? Yeah. But it's just ironic that we had you on here, we had Paul, we had Frank Knight all on here that had the same similar St. Mary's story. And Paul literally told Dame, don't come here, Dame, because he was on his way there, right? St. Mary's is a way better basketball school than Weber State, So he was on his way there, but
we might not have a Dame Lillard if he go to St. Mary's.
Yeah,
they probably bury him on the bench or make him a system player, and he don't get to just rock out.
Yeah,
absolutely right. So, but what was like? So even though you rock with the two, did you ever get starting reps or starting games at St. Mary's?
Probably 1 or 2 games.
What? Got it.
But they try not to give you the ball. You know what I'm saying? It's like it was. I was frustrated, but it's like I couldn't stop playing when I wasn't gonna get school paid for.
Yeah. Hey, but being who you are in Oakland around that time, and all of the other players that's at colleges and shit like that, were they hitting you up like, "Hey, Murph, man, you need to check this out. Try to come out here." You got KPs in them. Where at Cal, you got another KP at Oregon. You got all these players elsewhere. I know Lamont Couch played football too. Did he go to college for football?
No, he just played baseball after high school.
After he only played baseball.
He used to play baseball. Yep.
And that being a good friend of yours, man, how did he make that choice? Because Lamont Couch was considered a lockdown corner in high school.
He was. I don't think Mike, like he was good at football, but I don't think he really, he was baseball his number one sport what he wanted to do.
Because I remember, shout out to James Thompson. I always tell you on this show, we had JT on the show. Shout out JT. And I always say the hardest people I seen JT go against was Lamont Couch and Derek Gardner, right? Them dudes with like some shut down corners. And we know Lou ain't getting all the time to throw against back then Oakland High and back then Skyline. But it's like, to me, James couldn't do no wrong. Just throw James the ball, he go get it. That's my first time being introduced to high school, and he was the guy receiver. I looked up to James a lot, right?
Yeah.
But Lamont Couch, Had defense. Derek Gardner had these reps. I'm talking about Ken. When they get the stats, they like Derek Gardner only gave up one catch the whole season for 6 yards, and Lamont Couch gave up 2 whole season, right? So when you say he that good, shut down that good, we talking OEL back then, it's like, how did you not just be like, I'm gonna go play football somewhere? Like, it was never an option for him because he's like, I'm a baseball guy. That's crazy to me because he was just that good.
He was good.
Rest in peace, Lamont Couch. Lamont Couch passed away, right?
Yep.
Rest in peace, Lamont Couch, man. One of the things with our podcast, man, we wish we was able to give all these guys these flowers while they was here, right? Because we talked with KP, his brother, get their flowers and what they meant to Oakland back then. We talked about Lavelle and Vandale Sims and their flowers and Lamont Couch. So glad we able to shed some light on some of these people's stories because they get their flowers, right?
Yeah.
We had an episode, man. We didn't ever get a chance to record our episode with Coach Edwards. We was gonna do the episode with Coach Edwards. We didn't get a chance to cover it. Nato Vital. We had the brothers episode with Nato Vital. We never got to do it to give them their flowers. So I'll be here giving you your flowers, Murph, man, because
thank you. I appreciate it.
All the sports you did, man, and what we watched, right? And then Ken didn't see as much, but he probably heard. When you seeing Ken in the memorabilia, it's like when Ken sent, I'm like, hey Ken, that's a whole decorated ass outfit right there, right? So we want to give you your flowers, man, to the stable that you was to the Oakland Sports and still bringing it back and coaching with the youth, right? So we talked earlier about your 30-year span of the OAL, right? And we talked eras. And we ain't gonna talk baseball because we know the baseball era shifted. What era in the OEL was the best era to you? Let's rank them in time frames. Like, let's give us your top 3 eras. And you can name it as player-wise eras, if we can know the players, or you can name it in years-wise.
Of course, I'm gonna say the '90s. That's the era I played in.
'90s, what? I mean, but there's hella
early '90s.
Okay, your 91 and 95 years, 91 and 95.
From like '89 to like '97, '98.
Okay, that's 10 years.
That was a good era of Oakland sports.
Absolutely, right? Because, and I tell Ken all the time this, after 99, like the OEL went through a transition period, right? God. So that's why Ken got a championship in basketball. That way. Ken got a championship in basketball. The era changed, right? Ken got on at the era change,
this
right?
Again.
So you got that era, 88, 89, all right? Then you coached in the era when you won a championship at Oakland High as a coach, right? Y'all won it?
We won. It was a 3-way tie. 2008. It was a 3-way tie between us, Fremont, and Castle.
Okay.
And Castlemont won the Silver Bowl that year.
Oh, okay. So, but here's the thing. That's a competitive era because have there ever been a tie 3-way for first place? That means there are 3 teams equal in the league. I think
usually only one or two.
I think that's how the Silver Bowl got formed. I think it was a 3-way tie before between Ojai, Castle, and Skyline. I think that's why they started the playoff system.
So when they did do that 3-way,
I think that was 89, 88. It might have been before that because it used to be whoever the 2 teams played the league championship. That's who won who considered Silver Bowl champion.
So how did Castlemont win it that year? And who
I don't remember. I think it was 89, but I think it was like a 3-way tie that year. And that's how they started the playoffs.
Got it.
I'm not sure, but I think that's how it was.
So in 08, did Skyline beat y'all in the Castlemont beat y'all in the Silver Bowl?
They beat Fremont in the Silver Bowl.
Oh,
we went 9-2 that year, but both of our losses was against Fremont.
Wow.
So we beat Castlemont, and Castlemont beat Fremont.
Just a quick question: where the hell was Skyline and Mac at in this? Because we know eras. We know Skyline.
Beam was gone.
Beam was gone.
Beam went to Laney.
But Pooh was still at Mac, right?
He wasn't at Mac.
What's the name was coach?
It was Culberson.
Yep. and
that was in 2008.
Coach Mac, right?
Coach McCulley was coaching Castlemont the year they won the Silver Bowl.
Oh, he was over there.
There's at Mac. I mean, I know he's at Castle. Who
was the head coach? Denny?
JB.
Yeah, Barnes was the head coach.
Barnes was the head coach.
Shout out to JB getting in. So JB won the championship.
Won the Silver Bowl.
For the Castle.
Yep.
Okay.
They had squad that year. Castlemont, they was good.
They had squad that year.
Was that Chris Little?
Squad. Aaron Horn.
Okay, I remember Aaron Horn.
Richardson, and they had Paul. He was number 52. The DN.
Hold on, let me ask this question, Murphy. Don't laugh at this. Was Ed on that team? Was Ed Washington on that team?
No, I think Ed was like 2005, 6.
Oh, so Ed didn't win a Super Bowl at the Castle?
No. The Castle only got one Silver Bowl, and that's when JB was the coach.
Tech only got one. I can't not the Castle. Tech only got one too, Ken. So I can't say nothing about that, right?
Everybody can't be school of
So
champions.
where does that era rank? What would you rank that era? Like you got 88 to 99 being the top era, and I would agree with that.
But then the early 2000s was a good era because when Zoe and them had that MAC team with Red, they was nice.
Yeah,
because
it was nice.
That's a good era because
that was a good era.
We go talk about our team rankings in a minute.
And then Beam with Giannis, they had that year they was with Devon Best. They was nice too.
That's an era, but is that an era or that
early 2000s? Then see Mac that one year, I think it was 2005. Mac had 9 D1s off one.
Talked about that.
That was one of the greatest teams of OL history.
So were there any other good teams though?
I think me and Ken ranked that team second, and it was only because they didn't go undefeated, right, Ken?
I think so.
Because we couldn't take our Rod Ratliff and them team because they went undefeated and they beat some guys. They beat some really good teams and they was undefeated. There were no more undefeated teams we had to look at. We missed out on your Oakland High team because we had the years wrong, right? We had the years wrong, and people jumped in our comments and they named all these people. And I'm like, Ken, how did we miss that? He's like, no, Murph told me this was the years. So we had the years wrong, right? Now we talk about the OEL now and what it looked like. Let's say the past 4 or 5 years, right? Are you? I don't want to say it's the weakest era, but do you think it'll get back to being as competitive as some of these eras we talked about?
No.
Yeah, because I think now the coaching in the OEL is a little better now.
I think I don't know because I don't know who's all coaching, but I don't think the kids are in Oakland like it was.
Ain't the same. Yeah.
Are you seeing that as when you coached at Oak? Like, what's the big difference from you coaching back at Oakland High then, and then you took some time off and you came back and started coaching? What's the big difference that you've seen between the coaching in the OEL back in 08 when you guys at Oakland High as opposed to now?
A lot of more coaches we have now, they all play college ball. You know, we got access to more like Zoe. He all the information he learned from him being a coach, he helps all of us to get better. Like all these coaches, clinics, and all the networks we have. So that's making the league better. You know, Zoe is really doing a good job. I appreciate him for helping us and putting us on with stuff. So that's why I think the coach is better. And Pooh too. Like we had a OEL showcase.
I seen that. How many kids was there?
I said like 200.
It was a lot of kids there, man.
All type of recruiters, like Pac-12, like probably like 20 coaches there.
What brought on that bondness and OEL brotherhoodness to that's not a word, but I made some shit up. Brotherhood.
We know what you're talking about.
What brought that on to say, hey, let's do this every year for the kids at Oakland? Forget the Ohio blue, forget the Fremont green, forget the Tech purple. This is for Oakland OEL kids. What brought that on? Like, was it a meeting beforehand, or did Pooh them just say, hey?
Pooh just called. He thought of it. He said, "Man, Murph, bring your boys down for the showcase. Let's go." And, all the coaches in OEL, the relationship between us is a lot better than it's been in the past.
Absolutely.
When we do like 7-on-7s and stuff, we do a lot of stuff together now.
So one of the things I like to talk about too, because everybody gets honed in on Division I this. You got to be D1. Give me this. At Fremont, did you guys put out? I don't care what division they went to. You guys put out what four players this past year?
Yeah, like we had 8 boys got offered some form of scholarship. Only one really got like a full ride. Our safety. And a lot of them, they got D2 partial offers, so four of them decommitted, and they're gonna go to JC. But for them, they're going.
They're going. Absolutely, right. And when we talk about Oakland right now, man, I just saw, and the reason I thought about this is I saw one of your players, Dad. Shout out to Matt. I saw Matt the other day, man. He's like, man, my son getting ready to go and stuff like that. And I said, hey, dude, he said he's going to Ohio, somewhere in Ohio. Right?
Yeah, he's going to Greenville University.
I said, hey, man, you in Oakland, man, tell him to go. Tell him to go, enjoy yourself, enjoy the process, man, because what we see now is when people don't go, we see them be stuck in Oakland forever. You know how many friends I got that never left Oakland sometimes, never left California unless it was the party. And I'd be like, man, tell them to go, right? So, and I don't minimize anything. You go to Western Oregon, great school. Go there, man. Go do something. Go into Greenville State. Get away for a second. You're going to see something different, man. So shout out to y'all for doing the 4, right? 4. You had 8 total, right? Yeah. Have you got, with the new season, with these new players coming up, is you getting more people getting looked at after the showcase? After the showcase?
San Jose State, they offer my young offensive tackle, offered them early scholarship to go to San Jose State. Ed's son got offered, so.
Absolutely. And that all came from the showcase? That came from the showcase?
Just going to camps, and showcase, someone from the showcase.
Absolutely. That's
relationships,
big, man.
probably.
Absolutely. And I remember, man, this before, I don't even think you was coaching Oakland High when I saw you at the San Jose State coaching clinic. I don't even think you was coaching at the time, but you still, even when you weren't coaching, you were seeking the knowledge. You out there, San Jose State, networking, all of these different things, man. So y'all been doing a great job on that, right? One of the things that I'm going to say hurt your team, man, and what it was, right, was the loss of Coop. Shout out to Adrian Cooper, Ken. It's another guy, that when we looked at it, we wish we could have pieced together all of these times that Coop name was brought up on our podcast, right? Because it was everybody that played with, whether they played basketball in North Oakland. We talked about him in baseball. He's a football guy. They all gave Coop their flowers. What was it like for your program? And not you and Coop talk every day. Talk every day. So you there, like, Coop being sick hit all of us like a ton of bricks, because it's like, oh shit, you saw his post. Coop, I didn't even know Coop was sick, right? But it's something you saw firsthand, right? What was it like for the program, and not just and you and Coop being your brother, because y'all was at Oakland High coaching together.
I met Coop when he was 12 years old, bro. He was playing for Kappas, where Ralph grad. So Ralph, this is when I was at Oakland High, I was 17. So he called. He's like, man, I got a young pitcher I want you to develop. Can you come to practice? I said, I couldn't do it. Because I was still playing back then. So he comes to the umpire meeting in Bay Ruth. He's like, man, I want Murph to umpire all my games so I can work with Coop when he pitched. I can, kind of teach him the strike zone. So then, I lost contact with Coop. And then he came. We started coaching together in 2007 at Oakland High. And we've been thick as thieves ever since then.
Absolutely.
That's my boy.
Absolutely. Because I remember Coop wasn't coaching. He just doing a 7-on-7 thing. Yeah. And then you get the job at Fremont and Coop like, oh yeah, I'm coaching again. And I'm like, I know Murph was able to bring Coop back in, man, just the relationship that you guys had. Coop being a person of not many words, right?
He don't talk a lot.
He don't talk a lot. Even when he's recruiting, even when he's out recruiting for a 7-on-7 team, it's like, low, be cool, bring your player there. And my son was just always too young when Coop was doing the 7-on-7 thing. But it's like watching you guys work together, because the relationship, it worked, right? You he doing what he doing, you doing what you're doing, and you guys building the guys up. So thinking about the players that he had, and people call it the COVID year, bro. The COVID year, you guys had a dominant ass team. COVID year. Mm-hmm. What happened to why people pulled the plug and basically, I'm gonna say, hated on Fremont during that COVID year?
Well, the thing that happened during the COVID year, you had to do your physicals. We wouldn't even be able to practice if we didn't do like physicals. So what happened was our principal, he didn't understand the COVID protocol. So he's like, well, I ain't gonna let the principal, they pulled us out. They said, we ain't gonna play until they have a better COVID thing. So what happened was we did a scrimmage that got approved. And, I guess Frankie didn't like it. He said, well, if y'all could do that, y'all can be in the league, which I understand both sides, where both sides coming from. So they just shut us down. Like, y'all can't. They try to make it seem like we didn't have physical, even though we did. But
See, this is why I'm glad you're here, Murph, to help clear some of this shit up. Because
that's what happened.
Okay, that's what happened. It was a COVID thing. So the thing was, they said you guys, and me being transparent, they said you guys pulled out of not wanting to do the league because they said Coop, being a 7-on-7 guy, had brought a lot of players in, and they said that these players couldn't play, and y'all was like, oh, if they can't play, then we not even gonna do this shit. That's not true.
That had nothing to do with it.
Okay.
That had nothing to do with it.
But you guys, so was it any players they said couldn't play that Coop brought?
It was just San Leandro players, which I mean, we understood that, but the part of the reason why we didn't play because the principal didn't want it was a COVID
because
protocol.
I thought during COVID it was anybody could play anywhere, open transfer, right? Was it the open transfer rule?
They had like the Oakland High players. I guess they was
because
have
they
a team.
pulled. Right.
So that's how a couple of players transferred. But for our thing, that's what happened. The principal he didn't feel comfortable with the COVID protocol, so he said until it was more clear he wasn't gonna let us play. So that's how we got pulled out the league.
I think I go with the whole, it's everything, all politics, man, especially with Fremont at that time, because you guys had the new stadium. They took y'all stadium from y'all and made them do COVID testing and all of those things at you guys' stadium. So it's like, y'all got the new stadium, y'all can't practice here because we turned this to the COVID place for the community. Yeah. Go practice at Brookdale, so I think everything.
And we just lifted weights across the street in the parking lot.
Absolutely, right.
And we didn't get to go into the weight room till like November or December when school already started.
Absolutely, that's hard. So what is the outlook and what are you guys looking like on your preseason schedule this year? We
got a better preseason schedule. Our first game, September 2nd, we go away to Sparta High School. That's in Vacaville.
Okay.
We go away to the second week, Northgate. Then our home opener is against Encinal. Then we're gonna go away to Hayward High, and then come back home Kennedy Fremont.
Okay, that's the preseason. Oh, so you guys took St. Mary's off this season because you guys played St. Mary's last year.
Yeah,
right?
Yep. Well, we didn't take them. We didn't take them off. There's something. Last year we had we beat St. Mary's. The kids tore down some banners off the fence, and they didn't want to. They said,
you got.
We ain't playing them no more.
Albany is not letting that happen.
My daughter go to St. Mary's. Don't be ripping stuff up and raising up the tuition.
Raising up the tuition.
Don't be going over there tearing stuff
go to
up.
St. Mary's, man. She's loving St. Mary's. I saw her not too long ago, Ken. She's loving it. When I saw her and I saw her and I asked her about me and you went to Lincoln University in Lincoln. And she went and she said she ain't never going back. She'll never got to see her birthplace again. Right. Hey, but how is it when you're getting ready for this type of season and coaching? And you guys got some great coaches, man. I shout out, man. The Twins, they volunteer and they come to our practices and they help teach our linemen, man. So you guys got some really good coaches, man, that volunteer. How hard has it been saying Coop is irreplaceable to you? What he is to you as a brother?
It's very hard with Coop not being there. Like, I'm still going through it emotionally and the boys too. But the one thing that about my coaching staff, the Twins, my first year ever coaching football, the Twins, they're a part of my championship team for the Dynamites. Isaac and Bo. I've been knowing them since they were 9 years old, and I'm, their uncle. I've been going to school. Uncle and auntie, we went to school together. Burkhalter, King. So I've already been friends of the family, And every coach on our coaching staff played at Fremont.
Hold on, let me back it up for you real quick, Coop. So you coach youth football. You coach the Dynamite. I never knew that. I thought you was
my first year.
High school.
When I first came out of college, I was hanging out because my sister was a cheerleader. I'm hanging out at the field. So Coach Raven, he was the coach of the midgets. He's like, Murph, why don't you out here every day? Why don't you come coach? And that's Marshawn Lynch was on that team, but he never made the weight. He was overweight, but he was on that team. I coached him for like 3 weeks. Then Coach D was like, well, he wanted me to coach with the Pee-wees. So I started coaching Pee-wees. He said, you can run the offense, you can run the show. I'll just be the head coach on paper, but you'll be the head coach running it. So that's how I started coaching Dynamite from 2000 to 2006.
Hey, You want to know something crazy, Coop? And I just thought about it when you said your sister was on this team cheerleading, right? Because not only did you go and watch your sister cheerlead, you even at the games watching your nephew play football, her son, right? So you have seen all of these things that didn't change, you'd have been a part of, right?
Man, it changed a lot.
What was it like when you came back coaching for the Dynamite? Because by this time, is it when East Bay Warriors, the team running the Oakland show at this time?
Yep. So because when I was in college, that's when they started the Oakland Saints. Remember they had the Oakland Saints?
They had the Saints, right?
I'm like, I come back to the Dynamites. This wasn't the same Dynamites that I grew up on. Like they started to lose to like teams we ain't never lost against. You see, when I played Dynamites, we won 5 state championships in a row, 58-2, and the 2 losses came in one season. So we was undefeated every year.
Damn, hold on. 58-2. So
we never lost.
Let's take 2 losses out of that, right? That's one season. Other than that, you're 56-0 the rest of the season.
Yep. We were undefeated every year.
Wow.
Undefeated, 13-0 every year. Except when I was on P. But Ken, they used to go to LA, right? Were you part of the going to LA game? Yep.
So
the LA Packers. We played.
You got to go pay them. Were they competitive as hell too?
Oh, yeah, boys.
It's LA, right? And y'all still beating up on them?
Yep, blew them out.
But you gotta think you're playing the same players every year. So if you beat them this year, you probably beat them next year.
There was the champions out there. We blew them out.
No, but it's not the same players every year because like normally if I'm good and I'm on this team and the LA Packers beat me, but I'm good on my team, sometimes people move over and let me go play for them because I know they're gonna be playing that Oakland team at the end of the year, right? And I don't care about our league game. I'm not losing to the Oakland team and we better not lose to the LA team. So you kind of be like, we just want them to come down, right?
We went there. We alternate every year. One year we go LA. One year they come here. That's how we did it.
Nice.
Yep. Nice. So when I first came back coaching, I'm like, man, this ain't the Dynamites I know. So the first year we played Dynamite, I coached Dynamites. We lost in the playoffs to Vallejo. So then the next year it was 2001. We went undefeated. We won a championship. I had Jamar Smith, Jakari Murphy. There's all the Isaac and Bo's on the twins. They was on my team.
Okay.
We had a squad.
Hey, but looking at it, it was still a weight limit, right?
There was a weight limit back then.
Okay.
And it wasn't no. I think they just now had Mighty Mites was like the first time that came into play. Mighty Mites.
Okay.
Where the little guys play.
Got it. So when you come to Oakland High, now you have Fremont. Was Fremont the first time you became the head coach?
Yeah. So when I was at my transition, I went to Dynamites. So then I was 2006. I ended up being the head coach of Oakland High JV team. So I was coaching both teams. So I had to choose a team. So all my Dynamites kids came over to Oakland High. That's how I built Oakland High. They came over when they was in the 9th grade, and I was coaching JV. And when Coach McCulley became the head coach, he was the head coach for Oakland High in 2007. Coach McCulley, the one who coaches at Mac, the defensive coordinator.
Okay.
So then we brought the whole JV team up as 10th graders the year he was there.
Okay. Hey, so I got a question for you, man. I want you to rank. You've been around. We just talked about these 30 years. I want you to rank because I got a couple of phone calls on these top quarterbacks, right? I'm going to give you a list. I'm going to give you 5 names. I want you to rank them in order for your list, right? Everybody have a different list, right? We got Jace. We got Josh Johnson. You know Josh. Protect. We got Kyle Reed. You know Kyle Reed. We got Lewis Fisher. And we got Danielle Crane. Put them 5. Ken, I got a phone call and they said, Lo, who was the best? I said who I said, and they was like, is Danielle not in that top 5? So I said, you know what? I'm gonna put him and see where what it is, right? So to me, he's an athlete, but they put him because Danielle did play quarterback, right, Ken?
Danielle played quarterback for I think a year or two.
Okay.
He was a Mike Vick kind of type. He was really good.
Hey, for sake of argument, Ken gave me that look. You putting Ken Edwards on that list too, right?
I wouldn't even put me in the category of those four, because then you got Billy Cockerham. You got a lot of other guys that come way before me.
Got them, but I don't give Billy.
But if you're gonna go and
but Ken, I'm not giving Billy
Danielle's my guy. Like I love me some Danielle.
So I would rather I would put K Hill on that list before I put Billy. Billy's not an OEL guy. He didn't see the grind.
Well, I'm just saying there's a lot of other quarterbacks before Kenny
He
Evans.
got recruited one a year, and he didn't even finish the school year out with Skyline. He transferred back to where he came from, right? Yep. So he don't get the OEL. He don't know what it is type of thing. He was a transfer portal guy and then left right back out, right? So we gonna leave.
I love Danielle. Give him his love. Give him his love.
He made the list. Danielle's in the rankings for this list. So Murph, you can put them 5 in your order.
J3 is the number 1.
J3, that's my guy.
But that's not. I'm gonna let you finish. Go ahead.
That's my.
And I say number 2. Either Kyle Reed or Lou Fish.
Okay.
I say Kyle Reed too. Then Lou Fish.
Okay.
Then who's the other one? And then
Josh Johnson and Danielle Crane.
Josh and then Danielle. Okay. Danielle the only one didn't win no Silver Bowl.
Lou Fisher ain't win a Silver Bowl.
And Lou didn't either.
Lou didn't win a Silver Bowl.
Lou was nice.
Shit, did Kyle win a Silver Bowl?
Yeah.
Okay.
Kyle Reed when they was at Mac.
Oh, okay.
I think he was part of that 9 D1s.
I thought that was DeMonte.
No, it was. That was something.
I don't think Kyle won one.
I think they did win. They won the Silver Bowl. I believe so.
Damn, I should call Coach Carter.
Now you got me thinking.
I know.
Who was the quarterback of Red Team?
DeMonte.
DeMonte was the red quarterback, right? Damn, that's a good. I think Kyle won it. Kyle was the quarterback of that 91s.
They was.
Wait,
nice.
Who are the 91s? You talking about
Willie
Tatum,
Derek Hill and them team. Ward, the Ward guy.
I think Kyle was their quarterback.
I think LaRon Johnson was their quarterback.
I think it was
LaRon Johnson. Yep.
I think Kyle might.
I don't think Kyle, because I think Kyle ran up against.
I don't think Mac lost again though, Ken. Unless they lost.
No, it was Kyle. What year was Kyle?
He lost in the Silver Bowl, the Skyline, I think.
I think he ran up against them, but was he playing up against the Devon Best Skylines?
I think Devon Best played QB. I think Cal was 05, 06.
That sounds about right. So that would be Tech. That would be Marshawn was 04.
No, Marshawn was 01 and 03. So Ken, hold on. You put them quarterbacks in your order, Ken.
So I have my own opinion on things. So now and then if we're just talking high school, to me Josh bloomed much later.
Okay.
Josh wasn't a very elite high school quarterback to me. He had Marshawn and Vail in a very good defense. So I would probably go, say the names again one more time.
You got Jace, you got Josh.
Jace is like the High guys, those are like Omarri, Jace, LaVelle, Robert Sasser, those are like idols to me. So Jace is number 1. Like,
yeah, I mean,
I wanted to be Jace when I was at Oakland. So,
okay, so you got Jace number 1.
So Jace is number 1. Who else is on there? You
got left Kyle, Lou, Josh, and Danielle.
Yeah, okay, so Jace is number 1 because my idol. Kyle was Elite 11. So and he went to San Jose State. I'm a Spartan. So Kyle goes number 2. I never saw Lou Fisher play, and Lou Fisher in my head is a baseball player. Like I know Lou Fisher from baseball. So it's hard for me to have a QB opinion on Lou because I honestly don't know. So it would be just off what I heard. So then I probably have to go Lou 3, Josh 4, and then I mean to me Daniel's a wide receiver anyway. So
all right. So if you had to replace Danielle with another quarterback, who would it be?
I had to think about it, but I mean just
Jamani Robinson.
See, I don't know. I'm not familiar.
Jamani Robinson.
But to me, I mean, Raymond Cleveland was better than Danielle at quarterback.
I mean, was Raymond Cleveland better at quarterback because he was at Tech and he was at Castlemont? That's a big factor too, Ken.
A huge factor.
Now I think I was a better quarterback than Raymond Cleveland, but if I'm taking me out, I think Raymond was a serviceable. I mean,
because
I really like Robert Brigham.
Who the hell is Robert Brink? Who
For
he play
Mac,
for?
for Mac.
For Mac, yeah. Or well, I might be saying his last name wrong, but I really liked his game.
Cool. Have you
He's pretty good too.
saw any quarterback in the OAL in the last 4 or 5 years that would make your top 5 quarterback list?
Let's see who OAL. I'm not 4 or 5, but 4 or 5 years ago. But when I coached Fremont, we had Ronald Ragland. He's up there with one of the top.
Okay. And what about when you were at Oakland High in that 08 year? Who was the quarterback?
Charles Cobb.
Charles Cobb.
Nice.
Matt Cobb nephew.
And Virgil Bridges. Both of them were nice at quarterback.
Okay.
You know who was really good at quarterback, but they didn't play the whole time. But you know who was really good? Allende Ubaka.
Allende played football with y'all?
Not with me, but when I left, he played quarterback for a minute. But obviously then basketball. But he was really good.
And you know who else is a good quarterback? I would put on that top 5 is Dran, the quarterback for Mac.
Dran. He graduated this past year. He's
nice.
I think he was the quarterback of 2 state championships.
He's nice.
So Dran definitely.
I mean, DeMonte was better than Danielle at quarterback.
So,
but to me, Danielle's a receiver.
That's to me too.
Now we start talking receiver, then I got more love. But at QB,
so mine, I would go Jace. Right, Jace is kind of lightweight, the consistency, because in the OAL being a running conference, Jace was a thrower.
Yes.
Jace was a thrower.
See, Jace also rushed for almost 1,000 yards every year.
Absolutely, right?
Jace was the real deal.
So I go Jace 1. Ken, I saw Lou Fisher. I'm gonna go Lou Fisher because I feel his team was not as talented as Kyle Reed's team. No. Kyle Reed had, when we talking, if he on a team with the 91s, Lou was on a team with 1 D1, 2 D1s, no, 1, which was the BD Lockhart. He was a fucking defender, right? Not even a receiver or nothing like that. So I go Jace, then I go Lou. The bias in me had me picking Josh, right? The bias in me. Then I'm gonna go Kyle, then I go Danielle, right? Y'all
didn't see at Skyline when we played in my junior year, they had IU. He went to Colorado from Skyline. He was nice. Jamani Robinson was nice.
What about Jamani Robinson is Jamani Hogg, right?
He was the
okay.
That's where Jason, all of us, he was a boy.
But see, this is where we need you, Murph, because a lot of them dudes is a little bit older than me.
But Hogg played also with the Dynamite with y'all, right?
Yep.
Who was the starting? They didn't figure out who was the starting quarterback on that Dynamite team.
So see, Jamani, they were older than us.
Okay.
So Jamani, he was on a team with John Fisher, and they had boys.
Okay, it was older. Okay.
It was older, so we always watched them. And then Jace he was a good quarterback for the Dynamites. Okay. I played quarterback for 2 years for the Dynamites too. Like we won 2 of our state championships. I was a starting quarterback.
Yeah, right. Even Art played quarterback for the Dynamite.
Art was nice too. Was nice too.
Was it nice quarterbacking, or was it best athlete to get the ball and be able to run and throw? Was the best athlete that can run and throw doing that shit at the time?
Like when I was playing quarterback, I was quarterbacking. Like I threw like 20 touchdown passes.
So let me tell you something. Art did as well, right? But when I look at Art highlight, because Art had the ESPN commercial talk to highlight, there was no quarterback mechanics in that, though. He just ran around and threw. That's why I was like, what is the best athlete that was doing it, right? I got 2 more rankings with you, before I let you get out of here, right?
Okay.
So now we're going to go with coaching rankings, right? Name your top 5 coaching rankings, OEL. I'm not going to throw no name out there. I want you to just name
football or
5.
all sports?
Football. I want you to name it. I'm not going to throw no names out there. And if we go deeper than 5, you can go deeper than 5, but let's go top 5.
Top 5 is Beam and Zoe at 1 and 2. Kiefer. I would say Belt. And Mr. Young, Coach Young. He was coaching at Oakland High.
Okay. That's your 5?
Yep.
Ken, do you want? I go with my 5.
Yeah, let's hear your 5.
So 1, I'm going, and He went Beam and Zoe 1A, 1B. My 1A, 1B go be Pooh and Zoe, right?
I forgot about Pooh up there with the top two, top 1, 2, 3.
Okay, so my Pooh and Zoe, I'm gonna put them as 1, right? Because the program, the way they built it, that's gonna be 1, right? 2 will be Beam, right? 3, I'm gonna go Coach Denny. I'm gonna go Coach Denny at 3.
Coach Denny's a good coach too.
I'm gonna go Coach Denny at 3. Then I'm gonna go Coach Kiefer at 4 and Coach Everett at 5 and D at 5.
Let me ask y'all a question, because this is my conflict. Because I just love Coach Carter for what he did for me personally and just who he is as a person, right? But if we go non-biased, Beam had like a 30-year run. Like how, like I know when I put Coach Carter 1, it's like personal.
But here's the thing though, Ken. I see what you're saying. How is Beam not 1, right?
By itself.
But here's the thing though, right? Pooh have had a similar run to what Beam is doing now. Pooh he won like 11 years straight. Beam didn't win 11 years straight, Ken.
Oh.
He didn't.
Nobody has done what Pooh is doing.
Exactly, Ken.
He's still coaching.
So I don't want to blame it on the era. I don't want to say the era
because that's where I was going.
No, but
I was definitely going.
I don't want to do that, man. But at the same time, Pooh have 11 years straight. Ken Beam didn't do 11 years straight at all, right? And we had Zoe on here. Shout out to Zoe. I don't want to make it seem like Zoe is I don't want to say nothing. Zoe might be recruiting some big players.
Zoe is my.
I don't say no.
Zoe might give me a show. He might let me broadcast for the.
I got to go to Lane and recruit some of the Beam players. But did Beam get out of the kitchen when it started getting a little too hot? What I mean is, did he leave as the table was turning? Did he leave when he got figured out? When Mac
he left for a better opportunity. Same thing Coach Carter did.
No, that ain't why. Coach, remember they took Coach Carter's position. Remember the Berkeley High with the whole position thing. So that was part of it because he said he was still coaching a year without no position there, right? So Ken,
if Beam would have left and went to another high school, I would hear that argument. But to go up a level where you can now legally recruit.
Yeah, but
build a bigger pay. Probably making more money.
Here's the thing, though, right? And we get that athletic director of the junior college, all of the stuff, right?
You used to get to stay home in the same city.
Here's the thing, though, Ken. I'm pretty sure those opportunities was there before, right?
But you never know the family dynamic. What you know.
So here's the thing. So you in your eyes, you cannot not put Beam number 1. Then how does the rest of it follow, Ken?
Well, I didn't say I put Beam 1 because I love Coach Carter. So
there you go. Carter 1.
The same reason I got Jace 1, like I wanted to be Jace. Like,
okay.
Coach Carter is like, that's personal. Like Coach Carter got me on San Jose State team. Like he won. Like
so then who's after Coach Carter in your book? You going?
Well, now that y'all saying, see, here's my thing.
Pooh got to be up there.
Here's my thing with Pooh. Here's my thing with Pooh.
Pooh still coaching.
Here's my thing with Pooh. Accolades wise, you can't argue against Pooh. The knock that I have is it ain't nobody else. Beam had competition. Now there was different schools every year, but there was always somebody else there.
See, but here's the thing, Ken, and I got to defend Pooh, even though he shook us like a pair of dice, waiting on the call, talking to each other for 30 minutes, think he was gonna get on. I got to defend him because it's that, like when Beam had his run, we didn't really knock it, even though it was competition at other schools, right? It was still a fight for second place because nobody was beating them, right?
Right.
Are we knocking Pooh because of this? Of that,
I know, right? I know.
So it's like the dude, hey Ken, and here's the guy, being a tech guy. I hate to say this about Mac and Skyline, right? But Pooh Mac have won 11, probably 12 straight years without loss, And 1 year, Ken, they didn't even get scored on in the OEL, bro. Probably the last.
Okay. So am I putting Pooh second? I don't know. I have to think about it. But the part I do give anybody that wins at MAC in any sport is you got to get kids to come to MAC. And that's hard to do. Yeah. So but recruiting to go to Skyline and recruiting to go to MAC is two different things. I definitely give you credit.
But here's the thing, Ken, you're thinking, and when we were in school, it was hard to get kids to come to MAC. Yeah. It's not hard now. Why? Because they're winning. They're sending kids to college.
But I'm just saying.
So here's the thing. Where else are you going to go?
To let their kid go to West Oakland.
Where else are you going to go? Here's the thing, right?
I want my kid to come home after
Here's the kids, Ken, but listen to the thing, Ken. It's the thing what Zoe said, right? Shout out to Zoe when he said he was on the board for the start of the East Bay Warriors. He was able to tell parents, send your kids to MAC. You already practice in West Oakland. What's the big difference? Some of these East Bay Warrior kids can't and practicing in West Oakland. It's easy to send them there, right? And it is West Oakland. It is.
It's still West
At the same time.
2 hours in a controlled environment.
It's not 96 MAC.
Yeah, I gotta catch the bus over there.
It's a little different, right? Yeah. So Coop, so Murph, shout out to Coop. One of the last rankings we had, right? We did have our top 5.
But what was your coaching? What was your coaching 5?
He gave us his coaching 5. What was yours? I gave you mine. I said Zoe and Pooh consider 1.
Okay.
Right? I said Beam is 2. Right? Beam is 2. In my book, Denny was 3, Kiefer 4, Coach Evers 5. And then you tried to be analytical.
Yeah. I got Coach Carter's number in my phone. The man calls, he answers when I call. I got to keep that line open.
Hey, Beam, you got to answer Ken's call when he calls you.
I ain't even got Beam number.
So you definitely
Beam do look out for my daughter in the flag football league though.
And she's nice. She's nice. Your daughter is nice in that flag football. She's killing. But the other one, we had our team ranking, Murph, and your team didn't make it because we was thrown off on the years, right? I don't even remember who was our 5 teams. I know we had 98 Skyline number 1.
I'm gonna send it to you right now.
I
got it pulled up.
Okay, so we had 98 Skyline number 1, and then
2002 MAC.
02 MAC.
04 MAC.
02 MAC is red in them team, correct?
I believe so. And now we talking about graduating year.
Graduating year. Okay. So we had 02 MAC.
04 MAC.
I got it right here, Cole. Here we go. Okay. So we had Skyline, the 98 Rod Ratliff team. We had the MAC 02 team,
That's the one with red. That's the one with red.
Red and Brandon now. Wasn't Brandon on that team, right?
That team was nice.
Okay, then we had the MAC 04 team. MAC 04. Who was on that team, Ken? No, we meant MAC 05 though. We meant MAC 05.
That's the one when they had Willie.
Not the one in 90.
That's the one we was trying.
That's the one we meant, right? Then there's Skyline 01 team, and that is Kirk Johnson them team, right?
Yeah.
That's Kirk them team. Then we had the Tech 2004 team, which is Marshawn them team, right? We had Skyline 04.
That's what Giannis.
No, I think Giannis them was the 03 team. We left Giannis them off. Giannis them off, right? That became a real big debate, right? And a way to debate because we put Fremont, the 96 on there because
shit, they damn near won the Silver Bowl.
They almost beat Skyline that was on the list. And they lost 6-2. And if I don't want to say Denny called it, rest in peace to Denny. He didn't call a pass. It might have been Coach Green as the offensive coordinator that called the pass that went to an interception for a pick 6. If they don't throw that pick, I think Skyline probably didn't have 100 yards of total offense that game, right? If they beat Skyline, Skyline 96 might not make this list, but they did have a good team. So we know we left your team off, right? And when they got in the comments, they'll be like, nah, man, Murph said it was the year before. But after talking to you, your team was in this 94 team, right? Because y'all won it. You class
we won 92 and 93. I graduated 94.
Okay, so your senior year, you won it. So y'all on this list, right? Who's on that 94 team with you? Not the 93 team. Who's on the 94 team with you?
We had Big David Caldwell, Lavelle Sims, Jace, KP, Antonio Bonds.
Okay. Oh, Tony O'Tone was a junior, right?
Yep.
O'Tone was a junior.
Yep.
Okay. Was Mike Bonds on that team too?
Mike Bonds was playing JV that year.
He played. Damn, whenever Mike Big Ass is playing JV, you know the varsity got to have
both Cook brothers. E. Cook and Cook was on that team. We had Bailey Grant was on that.
Y'all had a raw ass team.
We was 11-1 that year. We was ranked number 2 in the state. That team.
But see, if I would have been more clear when I texted you and said graduating year, we would have had y'all.
We would have had them on there.
But the only reason it was off is because we went by the football year, and that threw me off. And I wasn't clear when I texted you.
So here's the other thing. How did we not put Skyline 03 year on there, Ken? Like Giannis, right?
Devon Best, Summers.
Frank,
Brandon Sanders.
So shout out to I see B Sanders in the club on my birthday, and he say, "Lo, I don't even want to talk to you. I ain't get on my interview call yet, right?" I'm like, "Man, B, man, what year did you graduate?" He said, "Man, I was 03. I'm on that team." I'm like,
no, B Sanders with the cow, bro. B Sanders was the truth.
I know, but how we didn't have that team on our list?
I think we got confused. And then I think we thought the 04 team was the 03. Like, I think we just got confused. And then
No, we were right. We put the 04 team on there because even though Tech beat them in a championship, they were 11-1 that year. And in the first game, they would beat Tech ass like 38-19 or something, and they get called, right? So they lost to Tech in the Super Bowl, but they was like, it took Marshawn 6 touchdowns in a 56-49 game to beat them.
Well, here's the real question, because we got to put the Ohio team on there, and because they was going to be on there anyway. We just got the years mixed up.
So who are we taking off?
Yeah, we got to take 2 teams off because you got to put the Ohio team on. You got to put Skyline 03.
I am taking Fremont off. I'm taking Fremont off.
Yeah,
taking Fremont off because not only did y'all lose the Skyline Super Bowl, y'all had a tie against Oakland High that year in the OEL. So this OEL we talking about. So these teams we talking about, I don't even know what they did in the preseason that year, because these teams we talking about didn't lose in the preseason, like 11-1 and shit. So I'm taking Fremont off, right? I'm taking Fremont off. And then I am taking, damn, bro, do I take the Skyline 96 off?
I mean, they had the number 1 recruit in the nation.
They had Jay Charlin, Jay Coop, LaCorey Collins. Like, do I take that 96 Skyline team off?
To me, is 96 Skyline or 04 Skyline?
Okay, then I'm not taking 04 Skyline off.
Nah,
I mean, outside of Kenny and Mike Norris, who did the 04 Skyline have?
I think was Roberson the quarterback?
Roberson, yep.
Roberson
was good. He went D1.
But
they beat Tech, so they had to have somebody.
But we not taking Skyline 01.
Did they have Will Snead? Was Will Snead on that team? Or was he? Will Snead went to UCLA.
I'm taking Fremont off. I'm putting Oak High 94 on, right? I'm not taking Skyline 01. I'm thinking about Jarris and
No. Skyline 01
and Terry.
Me,
like they're on.
Skyline 01 is.
I'm taking Skyline 96 off, and I'm comfortable with my answer on that, Kent.
Skyline and Fremont.
Skyline and Fremont, yeah. So Murph,
good with that.
On this list, right? And we talk about these eras and shit like that. We hear it all the time in hoop, right? I mean, in hoop, they talk about these different eras. Which would y'all have been able to compete with all of these teams on this era? And which teams, like,
they would have been able to compete with us?
I was about to say, so my thing was, which team do you think you guys would have really had to play full-fledged 4 quarters against, right?
That Mac team with Red.
Mac team with Red,
The Mac team when they had the 9D1. Skyline with Giannis and Devon Best. And that's it from what I can recall. I seen them teams, those 3 teams.
You don't have no trouble with Marshawn and Phil and.
Nah. Wow. I think we whooped them.
And I think and to his
that's all they had was them.
So here's
No. Shout out my boy Buck. Shout out my boy Close Hardy. Shout out Close Hardy.
They had a couple boys, but Ken, they had it right. But when we talk about what was Tech identity that year, right? It was a physical running the ball team. Oakland High meets that physicality with the.
Oh no, I'm not debating that they could or couldn't. I'm just
that,
like,
right?
damn, you don't think you would have a game?
So, but I think the more of the game would have been. So here's the thing, right? The games you said they were balanced teams, right? Like even the Skyline 98 team wasn't a balanced team, right? It was, Dame Bouchelion, recipe to Dame. I'm tired of saying recipes to these guys on the show. We lost so many of these people, man. We are getting older. But Dame probably threw 4 passes a game. Right?
Absolutely.
4 passes a game is not being balanced, right? So for a physical team, you can stop that, right? But now when we talking about Giannis and Brandon's and all of them dudes, you have to kind of like wait, be balanced, right?
But who was they passing to?
Huh?
Devon Best was their quarterback.
Yeah, but he wasn't passing the ball.
I mean,
who was he throwing it to?
Who was it? I mean, Rufus is 01.
Rufus is 01.
Rufus on the 01 team, but he's throwing it to Brandon. Brandon play receiver, don't he?
I thought Brandon was a running back too. And more mostly like a corner, but I'm not positive.
He's mostly a corner. He
went to Cal as a corner.
Oh,
now, offensively, I don't know. I'm not really.
Yeah, but I'm not seeing too many running backs be.
And I know Devon was probably a running quarterback. I would imagine.
Okay, so it's debatable all the way, right?
I would imagine it's Giannis right, Frank up the middle.
In 03.
Yeah.
So that means Brandon had to be the receiver. Because if we're not saying he didn't start, if Giannis was a starter.
No. But seconds. Maybe he didn't play offense. I don't know. I don't really remember.
Listen to me. This is OAL, Skyline, and your best athletes in the playing on that. You playing receiver, right? So that's that. And before we let you get out of here, Murph, man, our last day, man, please shed light on what football practice looked like. Lavelle Sims, the urban myth. I heard it so many times growing up that he hit KP. KP threw up probably mid-run, but still fell over, take his helmet off, throw up. What the hell happened in that practice that day?
We like every Monday and Tuesday. We didn't play both ways, so we every Monday and Tuesday it's full out scrimmage, ones versus ones. And he caught like a screenplay. And Vail, like he's not taking it easy on practice, and that's what made us good. It was physical. Like sometimes we used to be fighting that practice. So you had to come to Vail. He did that to everybody, laid into him.
But you said you guys didn't play both ways.
No, we didn't play both ways. We had one offense, one defense. We come to practice offense.
That's why it was competitive. That's why it was competitive.
Yep. So Monday. When we had Monday and Tuesday practice, like the people would come stay at the school to watch us scrimmage. We ones versus ones, and it was physical.
See, when I got to Oakland High, man, that's what I was expecting.
Yeah.
And when I got there, I'm like,
60, we almost had 60 players on our team.
Who was your coach? Ken Coop.
Coop
was your coach, right?
But I wanted Kiefer, or we had oh man, my brain.
You was the coach Evans too, right? Wasn't Dion the coach?
Yeah, Dion was my senior year coach. That's when we actually won some games and had some success. Hagan was my my economics coach. Hagan won a Silver Bowl with Oakland High back in the day.
And see Hagan, that's part of he's part of that, Capolindo.
Yeah.
They're one of the top teams now. Kevin Macy, who's the head coach of Capo, he was a Tech coach when I was in high school.
I remember Mr. Coach. Yeah, he left right. He left right before Coach Evers went there.
Yep.
Right? He left right before Coach Evers got there. So he was Reggie them coach. He was Reggie them coach.
Yeah, see, when Coach Dion came, he found the tape of the Silver Bowl that we won. And he played it. And he was like, this is Wildcat football. That shit y'all been doing the last few years, I don't know what. Well, he never cussed, but I don't know what that was. But this is Wildcat football, and that was I had heard the names and stuff, but this is the first time I saw it, and I was like, wow,
got it.
He actually won some games, but then things, Coach Dion, they let him go mid-season.
Mid-season,
yeah, it was crazy, bro.
Yep.
Bro, it was 4-0, 4 straight shutouts.
Mm-hmm.
No way.
Swear to God.
Hey, I'm glad you're an Oakland High guy. You're an Oakland High guy. I'm glad you guys were able to win it because for years, I think like Oakland High lost to Berkeley High like 72-0 one time.
That's the year after I graduated. They got blew out.
Yeah, we got blew out
72-0. Then they lost to somebody else. Might be even worse than that.
Vallejo blew them out.
Man, look. My first high school game ever was Deer Valley's first high school game ever.
In history.
In history.
New school.
It was, I don't remember the score exactly, but it was like 40-something to nothing, bro, to a school that never even played a game.
Existed, right? So I'm glad. So do you think, Murph, Oakland High will ever get back to being one of the tops in the OELs? Like
when Murph take
like
the
they
head
didn't even
job
play.
Again.
They didn't play in the COVID season. They didn't play the COVID season. They didn't play. I mean, they played some last year. I don't know how they did. I know it was bad. Do you think they would ever be? And it's hard for a lot of schools, but do you think they'd ever be in that top? I'm not even gonna say top. What's the name? Do you think they ever get to the top 3 in OEL?
I mean, if they get the right coach, you know, but it had to be somebody who familiar with Wildcat culture. You know,
you hear what he's saying?
When I was coaching there,
you hear what he's saying, though?
We had it rolling.
But Ken, I beg to differ on that.
Nah, bro.
Because Ken, listen to me. The last 4 years before this past year, the one guy that's on all of our lists as the quarterback, it was the coach.
Hey, he wasn't the right guy, but
no.
The time before that, who was the coach?
Wildcat football. He knows Wildcat football.
Absolutely. However, now I don't know Jace as a coach. I just know Jace as a person. So I don't know his coaching style. I don't know what went wrong over there. But what I'm saying is sometimes you might just be better as a coordinator or better as a position coach or whatever. I don't know what the case because I don't know Jace's coaching style. But I do know when Murph was at Oakland High, they were winning. So the NIL is legal now. Pittsburgh quarterback fucking making $6 million.
9.5.
Kenny Edwards is doing a little bit better. I love Orlando. I just got to get Murph back over at Oakland High.
So are you saying, Ken?
I'm saying the rec center is open to sponsoring players. That's what I'm saying. It's legal now. So you might got to pay to play.
And Ken, when you say you need an Oakland High guy there, it's not.
I believe that.
Okay, you need an Oakland High guy there, right? Because they always say, and I heard another school say this, man, our school don't only hire alumni because they have the love for the school.
You
right?
Understand it. Yeah.
You understand the school. You have love for this. Like y'all bleed gold, blue and white. I bleed purple and gold. So you need to have some love for Coach Ed. Shout out to Ed over at Castlemont. He bleeds the shit out of some Castlemont, right? To the point where we think Ed is insane with what he be saying, but he bleeds, his passion is Castlemont, right? If it had to be an Oakland High guy, right? You got Murph, you got Ken. Who else can come on?
I can't coach virtual
and throw the headset on. Who else can throw the headset on as an Oakland High guy?
Other than Murph?
Other than Murph. Unless Murph going back. I don't see Murph going back. Murph got a good thing going. He got new stadiums and weight rooms. And
money talks. Money talks.
No, he's not going. He's not going back, right? Unless you got some monetization on his YouTube that I don't know about, Ken, that can afford Murph. Murph ain't going back, right? What other Ohio alumni, if you guys talked about it, would love to see come out? You know, you got what's the hoop coach name? He's doing a really good job. The hoop program is doing good. They're doing great, right? Who would be a perfect fit, Ohio guy-wise, to come coach a football team?
That's hard.
I don't even know none that's even in the coaching world.
So there's a guy. So there's a guy who, as a player, wasn't a big name. He was a lineman too. Lineman, it's hard for linemen to get big names. But he and he's gonna kill me because I can't remember his name right now. Oh, Jerome Good. Jerome Good played with me at Oakland High. Jerome Good, he was the offensive coordinator for Zoe at Berkeley High. And he's now coaching one of those.
I just see.
Jerome, I think he's at one of those 9-to-5 schools. He could do it. he's been coaching. He's been coaching at a high level. Jerome Good would be an excellent coach for Oakland High.
Okay. Not saying he's an Oakland High guy, but do you think Coach Evans could come back and change it around? He's over at Madison, but he's Madison as the athletic director, but he's coaching like South City, San Francisco or something, right? Do you think he can come back and do what he did with you guys, Ken?
Everything Dion touches turns to gold. Even his son right now is like the world
His son just won a national world title in weightlifting.
Like I said, we was 4-0 with 4 straight shutouts. Like whatever Dion, when I was coaching at Madison, we was winning. So whatever the thing with Dion is his style doesn't fit everybody. So the AD has to be a Dion believer and supporter for that to work. But can he do it? Absolutely. Absolutely.
I love the passion of Dion. Shout out to Dion. I told you when I met him, Ken, his son was coming to play. We had just started the Seminoles, and I'm the head coach, and he come back the next. In fact, he ain't come back. I get a text message, "Hey, coach, can I call you?" Right? And I'm like, "Sure, man, give me a call." And he didn't go off on me, Ken, but it was like, "Are you the Lorenzo Parham?" I just Googled that ran for Arizona State. I'm like, dude, that's me. My picture is there, right? But we had the conversation, man, and it just didn't work out. He had a lot of he a pastor, right? Isn't he a pastor again? Yeah. He a pastor, and it just didn't have the time as we were up and rolling and had a lot of signups, man. But his son,
Dion could do it.
I would love to see it.
Could do it.
It's one of the things like when they say, "Hey, the NBA ain't cool if the Lakers not in it," right? It's one of those things that if Oakland High ain't competitive, like we went through the year, the Oakland High and Castlemont, but it's like Castlemont have made their steps, regain and some stuff like that. What do it take for?
I tell you this, Murph is the only dude that can get Coop to coach. Dion is the only person that can get me to coach, and at Oakland High too.
Shout out.
We might have to relocate the family again.
That ain't happening, Ken. Life's good. Life's very good out there, right? That ain't happening again. Murph, before we let you go, man, Murph, thanks for coming on, man. Give us some parting words, man, before you sign off, man.
I just want to thank you guys for inviting me on here. I'm looking forward to this year's football season with the OEL, some good players from all the teams. I think it's going to be a good season for OEL. All the coaches, we've been working. So I'm looking forward to be a competitive season, and I'm looking forward to it.
Absolutely. Hey, Murph, one thing before you get out of here, man. Who, because you know more of the guys that may have a nice story to tell. Who can you help us get on that you would love to hear their story yourself? Not saying that you don't know it, but it's like when I talk to Ken like, damn, well, I didn't even know all that, right? Who do you would love to see and hear tell their story that we could get on the rec center?
I would like to see Mario Bobino. They're part of they played on one of the few undefeated Oakland High teams, Curtis McCulley.
Okay.
Those guys, the Oakland High guys.
Absolutely, Ken. Mario Bobino would be great, man. We'd be great. Because I think I got a little bit of a bone to pick with Mario because he seemed like he recorded every game except the years I was at Tech. I haven't saw a Tech none of them years, right? None of them years, man. So also, man, I'm gonna keep bothering my brother, man. I got to get Mike on here.
I'd like to see if we can get Beam on here.
We talked about that. We thought Beam would come on. Can't be in contact with Beam. It's almost scheduling with Beam. But I want to get Mikey. I got to get Mikey on here, man. I got to get Mike on here, man.
Mikey told me if I ask him one more time, and then he didn't even finish the sentence. So I was like, I'm done.
I talked to Mike. But even so, Ken, we might even got to get T-Tone on, man, one of these days, man. We got to get T-Tone on, man. So just because of all of that, and it'll be like we did the Vitals. We might need to get a Denard. Mike could come on if the other Denard brothers come on. That's the only thing that's going to get Mike. So we had Gene. We got to bring Gene back with Tone and Mike. I
want Jace. Jace is like
Jace
is like
we could
fan out.
Definitely use Jace, right? And we got to get Jace. I had JT on, man. We got to get Jace.
I was fan
Lou Fish.
We got to get Lou Fisher on, man. And one of the things that the rec center want to do, man, with our next direction is start getting some players on and stuff like that, not asking them the questions, not asking them the triggering questions, right? Now, we got a little bit better in our journalism.
The schools need to do better, media training.
Yeah. So we got a lot better in our journalism, man. So we know what not to ask the kids. I can ask y'all adults, man, but because the thing went bad, I'm being transparent. I'm still mad at Mac for that, though, right? Because they didn't realize he was a kid and what he said in his words, right? Yeah. So the fact that they playing his words on the PA system, you know what I'm saying? Why Najee Harris that's in there, much. You know, and then the kid gets scolded by Najee after the game. It's like, come on, dude. Like, he was a kid. Like, you teach a kid with love, right? Teach them in love, not embarrassing. Play this shit on the thing, right? So
of a 70-0 game.
And no, not even the fact that it was 70-0, Ken. You're kicking onside kicks while you up 30. Like, come on, man. And every time you played on the PA system, that was a little bit much, but I take the heat for that. Ken didn't ask the question. It was me. I shout out to me. I did
we
that.
Won. We won. We go
wrong.
Down together.
I could right my wrongs. I got a little better in my journalism, so we know what not to ask kids. But we do want to spotlight some of these players, man, because they also have a story in the journey too, because it's not easy just being a player come from Oakland anyway. You know, so we want to highlight that too, man. But shout out to Murph for coming on, man. It was with due time, man. It was in due time. Yeah, we got Murph on. So
what's your shirt say, Murph? What's your shirt say?
Ohio.
Oh, I didn't see that.
Oh, yeah.
What did it say? Oakland High School?
Yep.
Best
50-year reunion.
#1 school in Oakland.
50-year reunion?
Yep.
And he got a hat on. He got his Wildcat on his hat, Ken.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, see, Ken. Ken is like a fake representative. Though. Ken, he didn't have 95 episodes, and Ken have never wore Ken wear a Blue Town Royalty shirt. Shout out to Town Royalty and Marshawn. He'll wear that, but he haven't worn an Oakland High.
But I don't have one.
He's like, yeah, I'm a rep this. I rep it at my reunion, but I'm not repping it.
Nah, I bleed that blue and white. I bleed that blue and white.
Me too, bro.
And that's why we need Oakland High to be back in the conversation. Like,
yeah.
You know what? I do got a guy that works at Oakland High. He's janitor. He's up there, and he been pumping Oakland High for years, man. Nate Lincoln. Nate been like, hey, Lo, why Oakland High is this? They got these to offer. They got that to offer. Academic,
a lot of stuff to offer.
Academic. They're up there with tech academically, right? Yep. They have all these to offer. And he has been part, I think a couple of years ago, they had a big lineman that was getting recruited by like Power 5 schools.
I remember that.
Yeah. And he like, dude, they got a lot, you know what I'm saying? So he's been there. He's been bigging it up. He can't coach it, but he would love to see it. He got the keys to help out with that, man. So if it can happen, I would love to see somebody step in and make Oakland High. This one of those, make Oakland High great again.
Yeah. Who's the coach there now?
I don't even know the new
coach. Do they even got a coach? I would drive by. They never practicing. When I come by, they never practice. So I don't know, man. Sign us off, Ken. You got it,
damn. That was like a little somber.
I don't want to, yeah. Ken's ready to go cry. Ken about to call the AD and be like, what the hell is going on? Why he's not?
What the hell is going on, man? But thank y'all again for tuning in to another episode of the Rec Center Podcast. I want to thank our special guest, Omarri Murphy, Wildcat guy I grew up watching. Definitely go over to our Instagram page. Check out the content there at the Rec Center Podcast. Like and subscribe to our YouTube channel at the Rec Center. For Lorenzo Parham, I'm Kenny Edwards. We